you guys all being here. What's going on? My name is UltimatDJz. This is Talking Trek Live, Star Trek Fleet Command's official podcast. Good evening to you. Welcome to the show. Hello, hello, hello. All right, let's kick it off. Talking Trek server sound off. You guys go ahead and punch it up. And it's cold out here. It's cold. And the buttons are just doing things. The buttons are doing things. I can't help it. It's not really my fault. Good afternoon. What's going on? Benny Hills Ghost on 742, Noon Whistle on 29. How you doing? What's up? Commander Taylor on 187. Thank you. Major Pothead, 67. Keith on 49. What's going on? CDB on European 137. Thank you for the raid, by the way. Thank you so much. Bacon Fish on 36. Tabby Moza on 20. Polar Bear on 15. Thank you. Loris Karen on server 49. What's going on? JPC on 158. Shelby hanging out. What's going on 701? Shinzola 153. Thank you. John Drill on 32. Captain Shaw on 137. Cruzito 13. Lost in, dropping a 10 bomb and getting the show started off right. Thank you. Dropping that 10 bomb and hailing from server 45. Consolo Parker on server 13. Then have flagship server 15. What's going on? Callum Dory 704. Thank you. Q-Dog 701. Silver Tab on 33. Gray Sabers on 29. Grouchy Outlaw on 84. What's going on? Halo on 80. Wilson on 36. Shelby on the victorious 701. 15 was also victorious. We were. I actually rated this incursion. I know that sounds crazy, but I actually rated. I don't know. It's crazy. I haven't rated in like eons. Haven't rated in eons, man. It's kind of crazy. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Appreciate you guys all being here. What's going on? Thank you, thank you, thank you. What's going on? We've got a new feature to try out tonight. We're going to give it a go called Call-Ins, where we're rating the arc today. You guys will have an opportunity to come up on stage, whether it's in Discord or now on Twitch, and be able to sound off your opinions on Rebirth, Part 1. No, I did not get rated. I did not get rated. I didn't even get scooped this incursions, all right? I didn't even get scooped. I rated someone else, which is crazy. That's insane. That never happens. So I got bored? Yes. Yep. That's what happened. And it will go down in the history books, all right, because I was actually rating. I know, Fundetti. That's crazy. Not rated yet, but incursions are over. So I went a whole incursion without being rated. Yes. That happened. That did indeed happen. Here to celebrate with me today, not only will be our panel of experts joining us here very shortly, but we will have our very first guest in our new content creator showcase joining us today for the very first time. Ladies and gentlemen, please a warm round of applause for Mr. MJ Hat. How are you, buddy? Welcome in.
What's going on, DJ? How we doing, man?
Doing fantastic. I'm absolutely thrilled to death that this is working. We had absolutely no technical difficulties whatsoever in preparing this stream.
Never, not once.
As a matter of fact, I started the show music, dude. I started the show music and we're like, you know what? We're just going to have to figure something out. It wasn't working. It wasn't working. I started the show music and then I just look up and bam, you're there. And I'm like, okay, don't touch anything. Don't touch anything. Don't touch anything. Don't touch anything. And there he is. Ladies and gentlemen, MJ Hat is here. Appreciate you being here. How are you? How was your incursion? How did you guys do?
We did all right, man. We were ahead most of the way, and there at the end, it got really close. But we won. So,
oh, good. Okay. Well, at least you pulled out the victory. That is fantastic there. So, very, very good. Yes, I saw I see the call-ins are paused right now because I don't have any on yet, but we are going to be able to accept call-ins now on this new telephone call-in kind of feature that we've got over here in Twitch, which is super exciting. It will allow you guys to basically do the same thing that you would be doing in Discord by raising your hands and coming up. And MJ, we're going to invite the audience to come in tonight and talk a little bit about their experience with Rebirth. And what we're doing here with you today is exactly that. Going to be talking about Rebirth, going to be talking about the V'ger arc, the Hostiles, Excelsior, the whole bit, which we did on our last show. But here today, it is time for Final Judgment. We gave the community some food for thought. we gave the community some ideas to kind of chew on, and I know that a lot of the content creators, yourself included, have done a lot of that this week, kind of just talking about what was good about the arc, what was not so good, how do the officers line up, how's everybody doing now with the challenge track, and what's the point in the Excelsior, all this stuff. We've been chewing on all this, and we're only halfway through, MJ. We still have an entire month to go with new features and new stuff and new thingies that are coming up literally in less than 72 hours. And we're wondering what can be done to bring improvement to this V'ger arc. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, but also get to know you a little bit as well. So for the community that's hanging out, you guys hang out. What's up, Wally? How you doing? Lost in? Yes, MJ is a master. He is. He's very good. He's very much like Caleb from Starfleet Academy. He's a master debater. He can talk with the best of them. So we're going to talk about all that stuff. Yo, what's going on, York? How are you? Wilson, Savage Darkness, appreciate that. How are you guys? All right, so let's get started. First of all, we did this. I'm going to go down this kind of checklist that I've got, MJ. We did this on the last show. You weren't here, and I want to kind of get your thoughts, and then we're going to take a look at getting to know you a little bit, your account, and the type of content and so forth that you do. So let's start there. First of all, welcome to Talking Trek. Appreciate you being here. How long have you been streaming?
I've been streaming about 8 months. Op 65, server 36. You know.
How long have you played the game to be Op 65?
4 years, maybe 4.5, roughly, give or take, plus or minus.
I'm trying to think. So that would put you at what, 22? So what was your first arc? Do you remember what your first arc was in the game?
Oh God, Voyager, I think.
Oh wow,
maybe
late bloomer.
I might be. Yeah, really late, really late.
So you're a perfect voice for some of the problems that we've talked about with not necessarily mid-ops experience, right? Because you're above that point, but officer acquisition, specialty ship blueprint acquisition, that was a challenge for you coming up through the early ops, right?
It was. I didn't get my Manus until way late into the game. So that's one thing I still don't even have maxed yet is my Mantis. So, and I know I need to.
We got doggy. How's the baby? Is the baby yelling in the background? Is it the baby? We want to hear the baby.
No, actually, baby's not here. Baby and mom are off. Little Hat is here with me, but dog's going crazy, and I don't know why.
There's somebody trying to break in, and he has foods. He's got snackies, Dad. That's what he's trying to tell you. Yeah, there he is.
Might be something like that. This is Nova.
Hey, Nova.
So
how
sorry.
Are you? That's all right.
She is our 3-year-old cur.
Very nice. Fantastic. Well, we appreciate her stopping by as well. So with your position in the game, Op 65, tell me a little bit about the status of your account. We don't have your screen share up yet, and I dare to try. We could go ahead and pull that up. One thing that we wanted to look at and talk to you a little bit about was the status of your account and how you did with Challenge Track and V'ger Hostels and Excelsior and so forth and so on this month with Rebirth. Do you want to try to turn on the screen share? I'm afraid it'll break.
It's still giving me that same message, man.
Which is crazy because now your camera's on. So you know what?
Yeah, I know, right?
Okay, well that's all right. So we'll talk it through. This was kind of the checklist that we went down last show when we were talking to our panelists, which was, hey, let's talk about the challenge track. All right, we'll talk about Excelsior. We'll talk about the officers. We'll talk about the V'ger hostels. And I'd like to get your experience and what you noticed from your community as we went through. We'll watch the chat and see how that compares with our notes. And then as we get towards the end of the show, we'll open it up for call-ins to allow our audience to pass their ratings and tell us either how right or how wrong we are. MJ, does that sound all right?
Okay.
All right,
that's great.
We'll put some voices to the chats that always tell us that we're wrong. At least in my case, anyway.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. No, I get it too.
So
I get it too. Don't worry.
This month, Challenge Track was introduced, and obviously we had a couple of timing issues. Lawson, thank you for the bits. Appreciate that. Had a couple of timing issues there in the very beginning, but for the most part, Challenge Track seems to have kind of settled in here. Tell me, what was your experience with it starting out?
What is wrong with you?
I'm gonna have to turn off the alerts. What were the what? Yeah, I'm wrong. Even if I'm right, I'm wrong. Says Prince. It doesn't matter. Tell me a little bit about your first week with the Challenge Track. I know that we tried. The content creation team tried to put out the notifications, tried to explain this before it ever came out, that this was going to look weird in the first month. The combination of points in chests and the points in the packs and the gift chests to try to catch everybody.
You are wrong. Just sit down and be wrong. You are wrong.
Yep, there go those. All right. No, I wasn't wrong. I actually was right about everything, MJ, with how week one was actually going to look and how it went. What was your experience with Challenge Track in week one?
Honestly, going into it, like, I knew what to expect, sort of, just because of what I was braced for by the other content creators, yourself included. I kind of, as we were going into it, I was expecting it to be harder than it was. And I know we were coming up with crews and we were trying to come up with the different situations, different scenarios, like the Apex barrier thing. There was, I didn't struggle with it. And I know a lot of folks did. I was able to take my regular crew, which is PMA, Pike, Moreau, Anorex, and blow through it. So but there are some, as I'm moving up now, because I've progressed 2 ops levels this month. I'm noticing they are getting a little harder, and I've pushed to get there. So that's kind of, I mean, there's always give and take, right? Like, certain things work, some things don't. Some things work for some people based on their account, and something else doesn't. So, but me personally, it was a breeze. I've been able to keep up with it, but now I also do not have the ship. I've never bought a ship, not once.
So we're going through with just the easy and the hard dailies. Ironically, it wasn't the Excelsior daily that I think gave a lot of people challenges. If you own the Excelsior daily was relatively simple. It was more or less the what was supposed to be the easy daily, this Apex barrier daily, specifically with the silence. I think with Gorn, didn't end up being a super huge issue, and Hurok, unless you had trouble with the hostiles themselves. And there were segments of the community that had that. And I'll tell you right now, I think we still know that Op 68, Op 69, that's a danger zone right now. That is a zone where it is extremely difficult to kill these hostiles with just the crazy power jump that happened as a result of going from 67 to 68 to 69. Sandra pointed this out to us in the very beginning of the arc, that from 67, they pretty much double in hull strength, shield strength, DPR, every ops level. So by the time you go from 67 to 70 or 67 to 71, you end up with almost like an 800% increase. It's okay. Bring him on. Let's say hi. Let's say hi to little Hat. He's dying to get on the screen with that. Does he stream with you a lot?
It's all good.
Does he stream with you?
Yes, normally he is. I've just got NVIDIA Broadcast on this new computer that the community got for me. So I'm just now being able to use like a scene behind me. As if you notice, I got DS9 back there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Normally, before that, yes, he was all over, bouncing around, and chat got a kick out of him every single time. So he's a little bit of a star himself.
Absolutely. Well, hey, I can't disagree. Oliver comes out and crashes the stream all the time, and he loves it. The community loves him to do that. So, it's good. From a creation standpoint, I find that it's always really, really nice when creators are able to become friends and family with their audience. I think that's what makes our field that much more rewarding and interesting, and that's what builds community, is to actually have that building community. And so you're doing gameplay, you're teaching, but you got the family, you've got all that stuff involved there. So that's actually really, really cool. So
1000%.
you're up 65 and didn't have a lot of struggles. What was the sentiment from your community as you were coming through? Where did you identify the issues with the V'ger hostels this month? Were there certain ops ranges that you identified in your community that were issues?
There was some. I've been lucky. I've had some wonderful voices come up, and we do an open mic night every Sunday night, and I'll try to bring some of the members of the community on, and they can voice their discretions. And what they've done is they've taken these suggestions and they've tried to improve upon them. They've like, okay, what's a good example? Thinking on the spot here. I guess Pal's a good example. He's there every week, and he will come on. He will talk about, okay, well, this is what we were talking about. This is what we need to do, and this is how we're going to do it. And he's very clear like that. And there's more than him. There's several members of the community. McShiz is another. They come up and they're able to voice how they feel about it, and it's really quite nice. The struggle is being able to get all those voices in one place and moderate those voices.
Sure.
As I'm sure you're well aware.
Yeah, that could be tricky from time to time, but it's important for the community to feel represented, and I think that's one thing that the content community or the creator community has done really, really good here within Fleet Command, is that there are so many creators, there's so much space, and the pool is getting larger, which is awesome. It's beautiful. You used to not be able to go on Twitch and find a creator that was playing Star Trek Fleet Command at any given time of the day. Now you can't, which is super awesome. Like, I can go on at any given time of the day. Earlier today, CDB was on, and I was watching him for a little bit. Earlier than that, you were on with Iron Chef, because I watch Twitch all the time, and now it's really refreshing to see that there's literally always a Fleet Command streamer on, and there are a lot of voices. There's a lot of perspective there, which is really, really nice to have. So let's talk about Pal, for example. I know that you had mentioned him and Shiz. Were they able to identify or isolate any issues with the V'ger hostels this month that gave players a really good knocking around?
I mean, yes. The idea to, and I know this is floated around the community, but the idea to actually use like the Strange New World officers when you weren't supposed to, you know what I mean? That's one of those things that we talked about, we came up with, and you guys came up with. I mean, it came out at the same time with everybody else. Does that make sense?
Which was an interesting thing, right? Like, here are the hostels that are, I actually used this. I think it was Mimi that actually corrected me early in the arc and was like, it's not a banned list. It's a debuff list, because I was referring to it, okay, these are officers that you can't use, except that's not accurate, right? These are officers that you can use at a quote-unquote penalty.
Just makes it tougher.
Yeah, well, does it? It makes it tougher. But the officer that came under scrutiny this month was Strange New World's Pelia, which actually ended up being the linchpin that allowed some players to actually be able to complete their dailies. And for those who may not know, for those of you maybe in podcast, and if you haven't heard this yet, specifically with the silence, MJ, the reason that we were having so much trouble there was with the apex barrier. We, in some cases, were killing them faster, and this is not all cases, it depends on your ops. In some cases, you were killing them faster than you were able to mitigate their own damage with apex barrier. So having Pelia below deck gave the hostile a significant amount of additional apex barrier, therefore allowing the battle to continue on a great deal longer than what it was, and actually allowed you to deal more or deal with their apex. Oh my God, the mitigation, your apex barrier, over a longer period of time so that you are able to actually hit that daily with fewer hostiles. So that's right. Cruzito points out in some cases it was actually good to use these officers, Palia being one very specific, that it ended up being a good thing for some players, which obviously probably wasn't intended, but another example of how the community can innovate this game to be different from what the game designers had actually expected it to be, MJ. And I know that that is a lot of what you guys probably experience in your own gameplay and your own testing, is that you're always going to find stuff that allows us to play the game differently than what may have been intended, right? Can you give me an example of something that you guys have talked about in your community like that?
For this arc in particular, I'm going to struggle because, you know, this month has been kind of hit and miss for me. I was where I was at the hospital, and then the computer died, and then, you know, I was stuck on mobile for the first 3 weeks of this arc. So as far as actually getting to stream and being a part of my own, that it's hard for me to say, yeah, we did this, yeah, we did that. But at the same time, I was there with everybody else while they were coming up with stuff, and it, you know, it really, it surprises me, and it holds no bounds, because I get shocked by this community each and every single day. Not only their ingenuity, but their graciousness. And man, each and every one of you are awesome. I have to say that out loud every single day.
Well, that's awesome to hear, because you know your interaction with the community is something special. You had actually just mentioned you had a kind of a challenging month. Now, you've been streaming for a while, and so we'll circle back to that question here in just a moment. But yeah, tell me that story this month. You ended up having a baby. Mrs. Hat was in the hospital a little bit longer than anticipated, so you had missed a little bit of time. You also had catastrophic PC failure. Tell me a little bit about that, just for those who in our community may not know you or haven't met you yet. You stream Fleet Command. You've got a big community. You interact with a group that you guys have with Lost In as well, the inglorious STFCers, and that's a great group. Tell us a little bit about your group, and then tell me a little bit about what the community did for you this month as a creator that helped you get back on the air.
So, like you said, we just had a new baby, and we almost lost Mama Hat. That was a very big deal. The community came through for me while I was there. Not only I received a couple of donations, okay, and I had missed a bunch of work because we were there for almost 2 weeks. And on top of that, when we got home, I had about a week, and then my graphics card died. And then as I was trying to fix it, I'm pretty sure my GPU fried. So I had a couple of things that went on. Cottontail, let me shout out Cottontail. He personally sent me his old graphics card to try to replace the one that was in my old PC. And while I was trying to do that, it again, the GPU went. But that kind of stuff happens. So Lost In came up with the idea, okay, well then let's get you a throne list going, and let's get the community to fund you a new PC. I was hesitant. I didn't want to ask for that. I'm newer here to the community. I'm not a big streamer. I'd say I'm low to mid size, and asking for that for me was really hard. I don't while I am extremely grateful, okay? So bear with me while I go through this. It took less than 72 hours because there was a couple people who picked up the ball. Lost In, Jason V-Neck, Cottontail, Rev Deuce, everybody chipped in, and they threw this list out to their communities, and they're like, hey man, MJ needs help. He's not going to ask it for himself because he just won't. He's just that way. So what can we do about it? So I did what Lost In said. I threw a PC on this throne list, and it in less than 72 hours, the entire thing, $1,800, mind you, funded.
Wow.
Every single bit. It took longer for shipping. And I cannot say that enough. It took longer for shipping and to get it than it did for the community to fund it. And I again, guys, each and every one of you, and man, there were so many people at $5 here, $2 there, $50. It was just, I am so grateful. And everyone here has been so kind. And, and I've said this a time or two, I've got a little bit of imposter syndrome. Who wouldn't? But man, I cannot stress enough how much it means to me, because it's not something I would have been able to replace myself. Just
Sure.
period.
Not in the
it's
cards. The community here is something amazing. It's crazy. This is the same community that donated $81,000 to the Children's Hospital literally just over a month ago, and continually does things to improve the lives of people around it. Thank you, Chef. Appreciate that very much. Tarpy writes in chat, we had actually planned, MJ, to have you here for a fundraising stream, and it funded before you got here, which was incredible.
That's 1,000% correct.
And
that's 1,000% correct.
So we were going to have you on. This exact show was actually supposed to happen already, and then your PC got everything situated, and so then we wanted to give you a little bit of time to get everything situated, and then thought, well, hey, why don't we bring you on anyway, just to talk and kind of introduce you to a new set of folks over here as well, because you're a very active STFCer as well. You play a great deal. Tell me a little bit about your gaming habits. You joined during the Voyager arc, roughly 2022, 21, 22, somewhere in there. How much do you play? I mean, is this a casual game for you? Is this a way of life for you? Tell me about STFC for you.
According to my wife, way too much. But now there's always a grind. There's always something that needs to be done. There's always some currency you got to go after. There's always some pull you got to get done. There's the pull joke, guys. Clip it if you want. The thing is, I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade it for the world, because I've always been a huge fan of the Star Trek IP. Coming into Fleet Command was overwhelming at first. I started my account way back when and then quit. And that's kind of why my account dates back to the initial days of the game, but I didn't really get into it, like I said, until Voyager. It's just so much. There's always something that I'm doing, and again, the wife, she's like, oh, well, you're on that thing way too much. And I said, yeah, but it's the community, man. I can't help it. I love everybody here, and it's so heartwarming to me, because even though I'm on 36 and we have wars and we have everything that's going on there, if I truly needed something, for instance, shout out Corey. Corey has always been a good friend of mine ever since I started streaming. He was one of the early people to come into my stream. Corey Rains. I have to give him mad props, because there was a point where I was like, man, I'm just not going to do it no more. And he was like, all right, it's going to pick up. That was where my first set of subs came from. And that when you first start, and I know you know this feeling, DJ, but when you first start, you're like, oh man, okay, who's going to watch me? Who wants to talk to me? And lo and behold, there's a lot of people here that want me around. So man, again, thank you, each and every single one of you.
That's
plus lack of sleep. Yeah, that's a thing, Wally.
Yeah, I was going to say, the new baby has probably helped a little bit with your gameplay, right? Being able to be up at 2 o'clock in the morning, change that diaper, and then be like, okay, well, maybe I'll cycle my miners real quick. Or I'll go and grind my dailies for a minute.
That happens, but I got to say, man, as far as the baby goes, 90% mom. Mom has stepped up and took to the plate, and normally she's up at night, and I'm trying to help her throughout the day, and she's, no, I got it.
Shout out Mama Hat.
Mini Hat has been a blessing.
That's awesome.
A wonderful blessing.
Well, that's very, very cool. Really glad to hear that. So let's circle back into Rebirth. Ironic title for what your family has gone through, and even your channel has gone through this month with the new PC and coming back to streaming and so forth. Tell me a little bit about you had mentioned the challenge track was something that was relatively simple for you. Let's get into the weeds of the challenge track here, if you don't care, and just kind of talk about the structure of it. You've obviously seen a ton of battle passes and event series, metas, whatever it is that you want to refer to them as. When you first saw when you first saw this challenge track, can you explain to me what your immediate reaction was and your thought process as you approached looking at this? Was this an event series? Was it a cash grab? Was it a battle pass style? In your head, how did you look at the challenge track and interpret that?
Okay. With a little bit of advanced warning, because again, you know how this community is. There are leaks. But with what I did know about it coming forward, I wasn't okay. Well, this is just them reaching into our wallets to get $20 more a month or per week for that matter. This is something that will help. This is something that I feel like it's good for sourcing. It's a great way to encourage, yes, more spending, because let's face it, the Scopely's a business. They have to make their money, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, I support that. Hell, I'm a spender. Pardon my language. I apologize. Um, there's, I'm not against the challenge track. I wasn't really super excited for it because, again, I don't have Excelsior. But looking at what you can get, I mean, there's the outpost cores alone. Okay. They make it kind of worth it to go through and, okay, you're doing 2 more dailies, 3 more dailies a day if you have the ship. Why not? Why not? More is more, you know?
That is true. But some players will look at this, for example, and say, well, this is another item on my chore list, right? It's another hostile that I've got to do, another ship that doesn't, at least at first glance, appear that it has utility outside of its loop. They had a really good run in 2025, and I'm kind of arguing here as devil's advocate, MJ, because I agree with a lot of what you're saying. But devil's advocate, to players who look at this as another chore, another ship that may not actually end up doing anything outside of its own loop, what is the point? Why would somebody be interested in the challenge track?
I mean, again, officer sourcing alone, the faction credits, I mean, this is your sourcing for the ship itself. So why not? Hello, RSDJ.
What's up, DJ?
I honestly feel like, and again, the challenge track is something that we're doing each and every single day. Everybody here should be completing those 2 dailies. If not, there's an issue with your account. This is a good measuring stick. That's how I've been trying to explain it to people.
Yeah.
If you can't, like, if you're struggling to punch at your ops with these V'ger hostiles with your officers, maybe it's time to slow down.
You
But then
know,
again, if you're doing too well, then maybe it's time to move forward.
You know, I love that you bring up that perspective. That's something that we've talked about here a lot. And by the way, what the heck is happening in chat over here, Tarpy? Thank you, Lost In. Thank you, Papa Smurf. Thank you, Iron Chef. And have just added, while we were talking there, MJ, added another opportunity to increase odds on this Go wheel, by the way. This thing is absolutely, absolutely crazy. You know, maybe as a guest of honor today, we should allow MJ to choose the wedge that is going to get increased odds with your 5,000 bits today. Is that something we could probably do? I feel like that might be a good idea. We'll check in with Tarpy here shortly. JG agrees with you. I agree, MJ. If it's too hard, slow down your ops. Lost In, dropping 10 gifted. What is happening?
Lost In saw the opportunity for a hype train.
Yes,
and he took it.
Hey, what's going on, Hano? Thank you for the first time chat. Appreciate you being here. Welcome over to the channel. Appreciate that so very much. Listen, I don't want to talk about what's going on my channel. This is about MJ today. You guys just settle down over there, okay? I know. I see that Enterprise. I see it. 209 subs away from the spin. I know. I'm excited about it too. But we got things to do. Listen, I know you poor hype train addict. So you bring up this benchmark. So in such a way, and I love that because that's something that our community has kind of identified as well. If this is something that you're struggling for with, and it doesn't necessarily have to be the ship, right? It could be officers. It could have something specifically to do with anoraks. It could have something specifically to do with artifacts, with your isolytic and cascade and so forth and so on. you had mentioned that you didn't have a whole lot of trouble. As you were coaching some of the members of your community that were having some issues, what did you find? Was it in officers? Was it in ships? Was it in research? Was it in fleet commanders? Where did you see the point of the game that could have the most impact for a player who might be struggling here?
Mainly it was research. There is a little bit from column A, a little from column B, a little from column C, but mainly the things that people were struggling with is, okay, well, I've pushed my ops up to this level so I can build this ship and try to get out to this piece of space. But really, what it boiled down to is you have to kind of do things at this equilibrium. Like you want to try to do all the research, you want to mine your transigen so you can get your artifacts, or you want to do your formation armadas, even though they're a pain in the butt. Like these are things that you need to get done, otherwise you will fall behind, you will not be able to keep up with the measuring stick, and you'll be stuck. There'll come a point where you won't be able to kill and complete your dailies. And I think everybody here would agree with me when they say that dailies are really the most important thing you can do in the game besides refines. Shoot me if I'm wrong.
Well, no, they are very much. I mean, we look at opsing up and we use the barometer of dailies often. I remember when G7 launched, it was an exciting moment for me, MJ, because I've never been at the level. I've never been capped out, right? I've never been at the spot where when a new generation launches, Lost In just dropped another 20. You're an animal. Thank you, dude.
Legend.
Lost In with the 20 bomb. Savage Darkness dropping 3. General Darkfire, thank you for the resub. Savage Darkness with the bits. Lost In with another 10 before that. Wait, MJ, why are you giving bits? MJ. Stop. You guys are insane. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. One of the things that you guys are making me lose my train of thought here. What were we talking about? The barometer of
the
dailies.
Measuring stick.
When I was op 70 and then G7 launched, I remember saying I'm excited to go, but I knew, MJ, that I wasn't ready. I knew that, I mean, the community says I'm squishy all the time. I knew I wasn't ready, but just being there kind of gave me that excitement. And I feel like that's what a lot of players look at today. James Bond, another creator, talks a lot about FOMO in this game. And I admit, I fell straight into it because when G7 launched, it was a perfect... that was like the one thing that I wanted to be able to do was to go up with a new generation. I've never been able to do it. When G4 launched, I was not Ops 39. When G5 launched, I was not Ops 40 or Ops 50. You know, when all this stuff happened, I wasn't there. And so this time I was. And I had an opportunity to go. But you're absolutely right. Like, I went to 71 and, dailies. Man, I couldn't do my dailies. Like, that became... the main goal of that first 3 weeks of being Ops 71 was to be able to find a way to do the dailies. And everything was focused around that. In my case, it was Seska and Suitor, those two officers that I hadn't spent enough time on and had to work on progressing those. Cruzito says, you're the example for what Scopely doesn't want us to do when you jump to G7, DJs. And Cruzito, you know, are you right? Here's the thing, and this is a question I'm going to ask you, MJ. Scopely, a lot of time, absolutely lays out, and I see this all over the chat right now, absolutely, Fleet Command Team will lay out what is interpreted as ops up, ops up, ops up, ops up, right? A lot of players look at this and say, hey, they want us to ops up, they want us to move, they want us to do these things, yet... when we get there, then we struggle. Now, that's probably a model, right? That's probably exactly what they're doing. But at the same time, we have to be cognizant of that, right? Like when I went to 71, I did it, I screwed up. Now, I don't know that I screwed up because I wasn't months and months away from fixing that mistake, but it was about 3 weeks, right? About 3 weeks that I couldn't do those dailies. Have you found at any point in your travel throughout the game where you found something like, while we're talking about this daily barometer, did you ever cross a threshold and you realize, oh, crap, wasn't quite ready for that?
Mid G5 for me, I think. Which again wasn't that long ago. You were just talking about when G6 launched and when G5 launched. Can I tell you where I was when G6 launched? It's gonna blow your mind. I know Griffin knows.
Tell me.
39.
So G6
39.
launched, you were ops 39, which does speak to how the earlier ops have changed. And you're the perfect person to speak about that. Tell me a little bit about your speed of progression through some of those earlier levels. G6 launched, you were ops 39. How are you a 65 today? I mean, that was only, what, 2 years? 2 years, right?
Lots of grinding, man. Lots and lots of grinding. Actually, you know what? I might be lying to you because I feel like I asked Griffin personally. I had messaged him and was talking to him there for a minute, about a year and a half ago at this point, and I was 39 then. So maybe I'm fibbing to you a little bit. I might have been 34 with my first enterprise. Maybe.
Wow. J-Babes, thank you for the
Now that I
400
think
kitty
about it.
bitties. Lost in dropping another 20. Mage, thank you for the 39-month resub. You guys are, and the hype train continues on. Listen, we do have call-ins on. If you have a question for MJ or a question about the arc, or even want to sound off about your experience with this arc, we're going to be doing that today. It is the community roundtable, kind of the one show a month where we get together, and we know that Scopely listens. We know that, or at least they hear. Okay, whether or not they listen, if they hear it.
They listen. They listen.
Yeah, they do.
I believe that.
And this is the one that they're looking at. This comes down to the player experience. So you guys definitely feel free to raise your hands. I saw DJ, actually, RSDJ1 raised his hand. We'll get you up on the stage, and just stand by. I'll go ahead and send the invite, and you come on up, and we'll come to you here in just a moment. But you guys absolutely feel free to raise your hand and come in. You can do that also in Discord. All right, we can do it over in Discord as well. So mid-ops experience for you went much quicker than what some of us did. Do you feel like the mid-ops experience has been, and I'm going to use this word carefully, do you think that the mid-ops experience is fixed?
Fixed? I wouldn't say that. Maybe expedited. Especially with this new below G5 pass that they've been doing. I forget what they call it. Maybe you can remind me there.
I don't
But
remember.
the way they're doing things now is only more expediting. Like, yes, I blew through it, but now I'm in game way too much, more than the average person. As someone that's getting on their phone twice a day to move their miners, or someone that's really just doing their clicks and then getting off for the day and not really messing with it no more, that I can't say they'd move that quick. I intentionally pushed and tried and pushed and tried, and I'm not really a spender. I got a little bit of light spend, a couple of primes, but nothing that's going to impact my gameplay more than, nothing PvP, nothing crazy.
Do you like PvP?
But I definitely think it's yes and no. It depends. Like, I don't do arenas, but I do territory, and I will fight in territory. That's about it. I tried arenas, not really for me. Not my thing.
I used to love it. I used to love it so much, because back in the G3 days, it actually was, there was strategy involved. It's changed a lot over the last 5 years. So disappointing to me, but I was just curious if that was something that you enjoyed about the game. So PvE is your enjoyment in this game. Do you love the grinding piece of it? Do you love to mine? What is your favorite pastime? What's your favorite activity inside Fleet Command?
Armadas, I'd say. I've really got to give my alliance a shout out too, the Tiny Rick Alliance. We do so many, and we try to help these newer people come up. Before I joined them, I really wasn't even sure about how the Eviscerator worked, and now I can quote how battle progression goes. So I feel like that's a big change. I went from being that little guy, little Mr. G3 got his first epic, don't know what to do with it, to where I'm at today, being mid G6 and approaching G7 voraciously because, well, I don't know if you know or not. Me and RSDJ, as a matter of fact, we have a little side bet going. First to op 70, I have to wear a red coat on stream and do some British things, and then if that's if he wins. If I wins, he's buying me a battle pass. I reckon. I think he's going to.
Speaking of which, we do have our first guest on stage, and it would in fact be RSDJ. Good afternoon. Welcome to the stage. How are you, DJ? I don't have audio on you. Oh, there you are. There you are. What's going on, man? Yeah. Welcome in. DJ. Hi, I'm DJ. Welcome, DJ. Appreciate that. You and MJ, you play, you guys play on the same server?
The same room.
Oh, you're breaking up a little bit, RSDJ.
No, we don't. We're on different servers. No, we don't. But the bet is the first one to get to up 70, I will buy him a battle pass if he wins. And if I win, he has to do an entire stream that is basically about how the British write about everything in a British red coat.
All right. So
just little playfulness.
Yeah, this is a little silly thing. All right. So now tell me, when we're talking about community, obviously you guys don't play on the same server. You guys are on different sides of the world. How is it that you guys became friends? How did you guys actually get involved in watching? Was it through his content? Do you guys play on this? You guys meet up in well, I guess arenas or whatever. How did you guys come together?
RSDJ is a member of my community.
On one of his streams, and it just went from there.
So just an example of community building there. You came in, you popped in, and this was a guy I like and wanted to stick around, play the game with him. And have you guys ever teamed up now that arenas do? Well, no, you're on a European server, so you still probably can. You guys have never been able to play together.
Never met, not once.
That's crazy. We got to get that fixed. We need cross global play. That's what I want. I want cross global play. Yeah.
To be honest, I'm learning a lot from MJ, but I've also been able to give MJ a lot of advice as well.
Which is amazing that, the groupthink of this community, being able to teach, being able to learn from one another. Listen, I used to, MJ, crazy enough, I used to actually feel like I knew a lot about this game. Then I met people like Jules Verne. And I met Blue Mandalorian and Magoo and Quasel and these guys. I mean, they're the community, the groupthink here is crazy. Now, the teaching that we do on our show, for the most part, comes from other people because I don't know anymore. I learn more from the community than they learn from me. We just now have kind of become a platform. That's one of the things that is great about being in creation as well. You have experienced that some as well. You've had people come on and teach things on your channel that not necessarily is something that you would have come up with, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I think we all learn by watching everybody else F up, basically. So we learn by doing.
Well, I appreciate
that's fair.
Yeah, no, I think that's awesome. And I appreciate you calling in. RSDJ, thank you for calling into the show. We appreciate it. Thank you for sharing your perspective. Before I let you go, let me just ask, Rebirth for you, what's your ops level, and was this arc a win for you?
Up 64, still a bit squishy, but getting there.
Nobody's squishier than me, buddy. How did the challenge track work for you? Did you get the Excelsior, and how did you feel about the V'ger hostels this month?
V'ger hostels were fine. I'm free to playing the Excelsior, and it's taken me. Sometimes I can do everything in one night. Other times I have to go back 4 or 5 times to finish it.
Yeah, depending on which hostel it is. I get that for sure. If you were giving your customer satisfaction rating on the V'ger Rebirth Part 1, where 1 is extremely dissatisfied and 10 is extremely satisfied, where would you rate your pain?
Where would I rate the pain? Are we talking about in game or in life? In game, I would give it a good like solid 6 or 7. In life,
6.
well, I've got to feed the cats at some point.
6, 7.
I love the fact that we're on the same wavelength there, MJ. That's fantastic. Thank you. That was fantastic. All right. Hey, DJ, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Thanks so much for calling in. Appreciate that. Call-ins are open for you guys. If you guys would like to either raise your hand over in Discord, you can do that, or you can do it right here in Twitch as well. And we've got some of our other panelists as well. I'm not sure where Tarpitude is. She was in the call-in earlier, and I don't have her now, but we've got Matters on the stage. Matters, welcome in. How did you find, I know we talked a little bit about this past week. To you, this month, the hostels were the really interesting thing, right? Like the crewing, the science, the trying to figure out what was the right thing to do at ever which time. Was that the challenge that interested you the most this month?
Oh, absolutely, and it always is when this kind of a problem presents itself. And it's my bread and butter, and it's what I love to do, and I've really appreciated the additions to the game over the last little while, and how challenging they've been, and how not cookie cutter they are. That what works for one player isn't going to work for another. That works for a certain ops range isn't great for a different ops range. It requires a little more individual strategy than any
before that.
Yeah. KJ writes in the chat, just wait till next month. That's kind of been my leak, MJ, has been, because Scopely did not do a preview this month. All right, we noticed that. It's, here's today's Sunday. Arc launches on Tuesday, and we've not seen a preview. So I might have taken it upon myself to leak a little bit that the hostels next month are going to be worse. All right. Matters, I'll ask you first, then I'm going to come to MJ. The hostels are going to be worse. Matters, does that present a challenge to you? Are you worried? Are you concerned? Are you looking forward to it? Tell me, knowing that February is going to be more difficult, where does that leave you looking forward to Rebirth Part 2?
Excited. Absolutely excited.
Of course you would be.
Yeah. I mean, it took me a little while to figure these guys out, and then over the first couple weeks, I was able to fine tune and get to what works better than anything else for me. I'm looking forward to something that might take even longer, that I won't even have figured out by the end of the month. It'll be fun. It'll be painful for me and everybody, but
it will be
at the same time.
Yeah, no, it will be painful right up front. I can tell you that. Canada Onion says they're going to provide something to make them easier, and that may be, but not in February.
That's month 3, guys.
Yeah, not in February. Okay, listen, they're just fundamentally getting harder this month. Okay, just flat out. MJ, let me ask you about that. As a player who did not struggle, and I see, Wally in chat was like, ignore again. Wally, I'm curious what your experience was. Because you've not been a fan. I've seen Wally in a lot of our chats this month. He's not been a huge fan of the difficulty of these hostels. MJ, knowing that next month is going to be a significantly more of a challenge than we had this month, where does that leave you?
Well, here's the thing. What I've heard is, guys, we want Carol Marcus. I've heard Carol Marcus, so I've been working on getting her tiered up. I think I've got her tier 3. That's probably not enough. Tier 4, tier 5 might not even be enough, because I've heard that these hostiles, and again, these leaks, they're going to be rough. It's going to be extremely bad. My thought process is, okay, well, trial and error. And is that not what we do on a normal basis? When we get new content and things are rough to start out. I seem to recall you saying, if not last week, maybe week before, do you guys remember when Silent Hostiles came out and we couldn't kill them? Period.
Oh, there were a lot of
it's
hostiles this way. Gosh, look at the original freebooters, man. I mean, when freebooters first came out, they were really difficult. And now, you know, tons of players just go there to just sweep their dailies like super quick. You know, but original freebooters were difficult for everybody except for K9 Tooth. But you know, and I took it back. I actually, MJ, this is a fun one. I mentioned this on the last show. This is before your time, but original bosses, what separatist bosses, the original separatist bosses, the ones that were literally impossible. All right, you were not single tapping those things. You had to go with your alliance. They were almost the very first iteration, if you will, of armadas, because you had to take a team with you, and everybody kind of circled around it to kind of protect it and make sure that anybody didn't come in and steal your stuff. But yeah, it was those things. There's been a number of hostiles that have come into the game that are seemingly impossible up front, and then, you know, eventually with the power creep and the bloat in this game, it becomes normal. I said the same thing about these hostiles, MJ. I think 6 months from now, people are going to listen to this if they're catching up or they're behind, and they're going to come back and be like, I don't know what the big deal was. You know, they're going to come back and it's going to be fine. You know, not a big deal. So
and that's the thing too, DJ. As stuff comes out, as we get new stuff, like that's always going to be the case, because power creep's very, 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 very real. Like, it's never going to stop. It's only going to get worse. So they have to make things harder and harder and harder and harder. That is what we've created as the community by being able to blow through and do the things that they release with ease. We need a little challenge. I'm not opposed to it. I'm all for it. 100%.
Sorry, I'm interacting with somebody in chat. KJ and Cruzito are laying they're laying their predictions for the next arc. KJ says, I'm saying crits have been the thing. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Or Cruzito says, KJ says, please don't criticize me. Nudge, nudge. Cruzito writes back, don't be so critical. You guys might be getting the hit.
Leaks.
I don't know. I'm just reading the chat right now. I'm just reading the chat. Interesting stuff there. Listen, we've got another caller. Trek Diva is on the line. Good evening, my dear. Hello, welcome. How are you, Trek Diva?
I am doing well. How are you?
I am fantastic. You sound like
Can you
you're
hear
in.
me?
Yes, we got you. You hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you, baby.
Oh, okay.
Good.
I can't hear you.
Good to hear your voice.
You can't hear me?
Hello?
That's terrible.
I got you.
Okay, there you are.
I got you.
All right.
I got you.
Fantastic. How you doing, darling?
Oh.
Welcome. I see flashing lights behind you.
I'm doing well.
I'm kidding. Don't
No,
laugh.
it's just I'm driving. But
This call-in feature, Tarpy, I love this. Okay, I absolutely love this. All right, this new call-in feature is amazing, and I'm gonna have so much fun with this right now. Okay, this is great. Yeah, I'm in a tunnel. I'm playing the game. I'm driving. There's 7 kids in the car. None of them are wearing seatbelts, and we're going through a McDonald's drive-through. Leave me alone. All right. That's great. Diva, how are you, baby? It's good to see you.
it's good. I am good.
Fantastic. How did
So
you?
how did I feel about?
Yeah, how did you feel about Rebirth? What was your experience? What's your ops level?
I'm 68. I had no problem. But I systematically go up. So I go fast, slow is what I say. I'm 4 years in, a little less than 4 years in, and I'm 68. But I go fast, slow. I have a checklist. If I don't hit those points, I don't go to the next ops level. So I'm always doing okay. But I didn't have a lot of problems once I figured it out, what was needed. I wasn't excited about it, if you're asking that. I did buy the ship. As my alliance will tell you, I always buy the ship. That is my mantra in my alliance. I buy the ship.
Do you regret buying the ship?
No, I never regret buying the ship. I just buy the ship. Every specialty ship that's come out since Voyager. Voyager was the last one that I didn't buy, and I ground out. I said no. I'm spending $100 and buying the ship. That's it.
So
I buy the ship.
you did not have any trouble with the hostels this month, which is good. Your ops 68. You said, was it 68? You said 65.
Yes.
68.
68.
68. And had no problems with the hostels this month, which is really good to hear because honestly, that MJ was kind of where we were feeling there was starting to become pain. Was at Op 68. What that tells me, though, is exactly what MJ was just saying, is that your barometer, your checkup from the neck up, Trek Diva, it must be feeling pretty good. Your research is well rounded out. Your officers are developed, because if you're not having trouble there, that has kind of been where a lot of other players are experiencing some trouble. So if I were to tell you, what's up, baby diva?
And I'm toward the end of 68. I'm getting ready to go into to press bake for 69.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I didn't have any problem. I wasn't excited by it, but I didn't feel bad about it. It was a C month for me. That's what I call it. It was just, average
month.
Yeah.
That was something that I talked about. MJ, when we were talking about the preview before this arc actually dropped, that was actually a question that was asked of me, and I'm going to turn around and ask you the same thing. Before the arc launched, somebody asked me if I was excited for the new content. That wasn't the right word. I think Trek Diva nailed it on the head there. I wasn't excited for this arc, but I wasn't turned off by it either. I felt like there was some good things. I enjoyed the challenge track, but was it new, crazy, exciting? No, I don't think it was. When you saw this arc, MJ, what was that kind of reaction coming into it at the very beginning, or even right before when you saw the preview? Was this something that was exciting, or was it just kind of routine, interesting, kind of, as Trek Diva says, a C month?
I will say that I was excited by Excelsior. I was excited by Sulu. Though those things alone really kind of pushed for me. I want to be able to get that. And again, every specialty ship I've managed to acquire everything I've ever needed. But the excitement for me was, okay, well, there's a new challenge. We're going to have to figure something out. And I like Matters. I'm right there with him. I want to try new things. Sure, I might blow up and waste a few hulls, maybe blow up a little bit of trit. But at the same time, I'm going to figure it out one way or another. If this one doesn't work, let's try this combination. That's how this is supposed to work.
That's the same thing I was doing even just yesterday. I actually just built my Vengeance this weekend. Don't know the first thing about how to use it, and I had some people in chat helping me, and actually saw the return for me of Honor Guard Wharf, which I haven't used in a long time. So I thought that was a kind of an interesting thing. While we're talking about crits. Same. Track, as we as we look towards the next month, if I told you that the hostels are going to get more difficult, are you still going to press that button for Op 69, or are you going to wait and maybe see what happens on Tuesday?
No, I'm going to press it. I'm not going to speed it up, but I am going to press it because all of my epic ships are paid for due to the DTI, so I can build all my epic ships as soon as I go to so I can actually see myself going to 70 right, as soon as I can afterwards. So yeah, I'm going to press it, but I'm not going to speed it up.
All right, fair enough. Well, thank you so much for calling in. It is so lovely to hear you again, and I hope that we'll get to look forward to seeing you in Orlando here in just a couple of weeks.
Yep, you will.
All right, thank you so much. Appreciate you calling in. Ladies and gentlemen, Trek Diva, love her, friend of the show, MJ. I am so excited about this call-in feature. Like, you don't even know. This takes me back to my radio days 25 years ago, being able to do this stuff. Like, we've had this figured out in Discord for a while, but this is cool. I like it.
I 100% get it, because that's the same thing like I was talking about that we do on Sundays normally when I'm on normal schedule, which will be in a couple of weeks. That's the thing, man. I enjoy hearing the voices of the community. That is something that I feel it's very important that we get our voices out there. Otherwise, if we don't say the things, they're never going to be heard.
Yeah.
And they may or may not be heard now, but I feel like they are. I've seen changes just because we said something.
Yeah.
So
this is definitely a cool thing. I see Enterprise says called it. He's living in his radio days. Yeah, no, I like this feature. This is brand new. I don't even know if it's like new everywhere, like if everybody has it or if this is one of those new beta things, but I like it. I like it. This is very cool. And I'm actually really, really excited that MJ's here to experience this with me. This is super cool. We've got Chala on the stage from Server 15. What's going on? The Eternal Ops 14. You're not Ops 14 anymore, Chala. Welcome to the stage. How are you?
No, I'm not.
No.
I'm not. I moved up.
He finally pressed that button on Ops 15 exactly 8 weeks ago, MJ. He's coming up. Chala, appreciate you being here. What was your experience with Rebirth? Did you struggle against these V'ger Silence? And what are you looking forward to knowing that next month is going to be a new, more difficult puzzle?
One thing that I struggled with was some of the leaderboards. Couldn't quite score enough, even though I ground out a lot. But I'm also a not pair. I'm F2P. Been that way for 5 years at least. Been playing this since day one. So,
you've been around.
Year at least.
For those of you who may not recognize the name, Chala is infamous on Server 15 and throughout a great deal of servers today. Just by mere mention of his name, servers tremble. Brand new servers would be wise to learn the lore of the great Chala War on Server 15. Chala, just to give a little bit of insight, and then I want to come back to Rebirth. Chala, you were the guy that started one of the longest wars on Server 15 because you stayed at Ops 14 for eons. But you took your monitor.
I was 14 for a year.
and he took his ships. He parked them on G3 mining nodes just to clog them up, and then nobody could hit him. Nobody could hit him.
Not even most 14s, because this was pre the ops requirement for a North Star.
Yes. Yeah, this is before Baby Jelly, before North Star, before all this stuff. You were out there hoarding nodes.
I was able to get a North. I tried to get it free to play, but I ended up spending $20 to get the North Star. And I just leveled it up, tiered it up, did every Klingon mission I could to get the material tiered up.
Yeah, and for those of you who are wondering why that's a big deal, okay? For those of you who are wondering why that's a big deal, you got to remember, today's PvP environment is entirely different, MJ. On your screen, and for those of you in podcast, I'll narrate what this says. This is a screenshot from PvPtarget.com, one of our show sponsors, shout out. Back when he was Ops 14, the only people that could hit him were up to Ops 16. See, MJ, the PvP target ranges were really, really different. Actually, they're not different. They're just different at the lower levels. Today, an Ops 45 can get smacked by a 70. But back then, as an Ops 14, it only went 2 level ranges. So being an Ops 14, being the most powerful Ops 14 meant that most 15 and 16 level players couldn't kill him. And then if you were an Ops 17 or higher, you just couldn't target him at all. So he would clog up all those. He clogged up all those nodes.
Having North Star gave me a warp range that no 14 should have.
No,
because I was able to get to the deep space areas of faction space.
Absolutely, dude. And he would send ships out all over the place and clog up these nodes, and then nobody could mine. Sig, thank you for your 1,300 bits, legend. Thank you, KJ. Thank you for dropping a gifted sub to Major Pothead. Appreciate it. Yeah, this was very, very, and it started a war. MJ, this started one of the longest wars. How long did this war go on? Just under a year. I believe, Chala. Wasn't it just maybe like 10 months or something like that? Started War on Server 15, and we still.
Oh, no. Yeah, there's debate about it ever since I had gotten the North Star and Surrey, getting out to the 3-star systems and mining up there. Nobody realized it at the time or accepted it. Well, most people didn't, but I was also dual grinding. So I actually had to rep in Klingon and Federation to where I needed to mine those items for the dailies. So I had to be out there.
Yeah. Had to be out
like
there.
crazy.
I know, had to be. Had to be out there. Well, where are you these days? What's your ops level today?
I'm at 62, slowly grinding and getting up to 63.
How are the V'ger hostels for you this month?
Difficult, bit challenging, but doable. Just had to keep crewing properly, changing crews here and there. With great help of Karkin, I helped me with a few of the crews. But I was able to get the dailies done. Not hit as high as I wanted to, but because with the leaderboards and stuff, I couldn't get the points tallied in.
But I'll tell you, punching up this month was not a huge thing, I don't think, for very many people.
No, it wasn't. I mean, guys just figured out how to work this scoring to where they got good points.
Yeah.
I always scored high, but I just never won anything.
You know, that's crazy you point that out. MJ, what's your perspective on leaderboards? I don't even hardly look at them anymore. I know that there are grinders leaderboards today. That's good. And there are spenders leaderboards, neither of which I am. All right. I mean, like I spend a little bit, but I'm not a heavy spender. And I hate grinding. I guess I don't look at leaderboards. You, as far as the grinders leaderboards, MJ, is that a thing that you still invest time into?
I do both. I just spend my mats and I do the grinding leaderboards. I feel like that competition is good. Maybe the bracketing might be a little off, maybe, but there is something there. Like more is more. If I can get more, I'm going to shoot for it. Like right now, I'm first for this weekend spend event.
No way.
As we speak.
KJ was like, so you don't like grinding, you don't like spending. What do you like to do in this game? Collect. I like to collect. I guess we'll go with that.
Yeah, I've seen it too.
You get to collect things. I don't know. All right, Chala, on a satisfaction scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is extremely dissatisfied and 10 is extremely satisfied, would you please issue your rating for V'ger Rebirth Part 1?
Around a 6.
6 or 7?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just checking. Thank you, Chala. All right. Thank you very much, Chala. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh.
I love it. I love it.
It's a juvenile joke, MJ. We really should be more mature than this, I feel.
Well, can I tell you what my boss said? My boss said if we the adults stick together and start thinking it's funny, the kids will stop.
The kids will stop doing it. Yeah, maybe so. Live from Server 13, we got Con Solo Parker as an Op 72. Welcome into the stage. Questions, comments on V'ger Rebirth Part 2, or a question for MJ? What do you got? Welcome to the stage.
Well, hello there, Mr. DJs.
Hello, Mr. Con Solo Parker. How are you?
Good, thanks. So about this V'ger arc, I would say there's no, as a 72, definitely a spender, there's not really much to it. Like, I don't really see the involvement for it.
Are you flying a Vengeance?
Yeah.
See, yeah. I feel, MJ, I feel like that was the cutoff for a lot of people. Like, if you had the Vengeance, this was, I saw screenshots, Con, I saw screenshots of people flying around their Vengeance with, like, Badgie and not having trouble. I think it's just, like, that legendary ship makes a difference. Did you happen to try these hostels with a G6 Epic for fun, or did you just rely on the Vengeance this month?
Just fully the vengeance, get the event over with, move on.
Gotcha. All right. How did you feel about the rewards of the month, and what's your thoughts on the challenge track? As a 72, I know that there was a lot of sentiment from the higher ops level community that felt like the challenge track may not actually be worth it. What was your thoughts on the challenge track and what it's sourcing now? Do you feel like it's a welcome addition to the game?
Great question. The challenge track, I mean, I'll do the free to play. I did buy it the first time, but then it's like, what am I really getting here? Listening to Griffin, it's like, yeah, those credits, I do need them. Am I going to spend $20 just to get that extra little bit? I mean, I don't know. I'm on the fence on it right now. I think long term, Scopely is going to continue to give out other sources in other ways.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't really seem like this is going to be that source to do it. Like I'm not overly wowed. Like, yeah, I'm gonna be chasing this all the time. But the challenge track, sure, I'll take the free. Give me more for free, no problem.
Yeah. I look at it that way. And honestly, I have to ask you this as well, Con. You say you bought it in the first week. I haven't bought it yet. And I'll tell you why. It's not because I wouldn't have. It's actually because of the perfection requirement, or at least you can miss one, not even one day, but you can miss one of the daily events. I know this is a terrible admission to make, but I have actually missed at least one set of dailies every single week. If I had paid the $20,
you're not allowed to do that. That's come on. But DJs, you're a creator. You got to do this stuff. Come on. I have Cruzito that I got to deal with. If I miss one day, it's over.
It's an accident.
It's war. I'm going to lose everything. So
I know.
I have to do the daily.
I know. I try. I sometimes forget. MJ, have you missed any one of these yet? Have you missed any of the dailies?
Nope.
Well, okay.
Nope.
I'm a slacker. I listen, I would have. Look, I haven't unlocked Uhura yet. Okay? Like, this is the thing for me. I haven't unlocked Uhura yet. I could have for $40.
Sure.
If I had done my dailies. And
but then what is that doing for you? I mean, Uhura, it's an outpost officer, right? I mean, I've unlocked her. I haven't even used her yet. It's like the outpost credits that we're getting, it's very weak now. So again, it's not something that you're really looking forward to.
What level of outpost are you
hitting? I hit the 70s and 70 elites. So the 73s, like I can get deep into it, but I'm not totally completed.
That is an interesting thing. And I'm tinkering with this now because obviously I did just unlock my vengeance this past weekend. It's tier 2. And I thought, and I've got 3 ships that I can send to an outpost. Now, I've been doing 66s. All right. I thought, well, maybe I can use my vengeance and I can punch up. So I could have used Uhura. And I didn't have her.
I mean, even just using the 3 with a vengeance, you're going to get to the 70s. Like, it's going to happen, like doing the 70. But the 73 hits way harder. It's a whole other ball game. You kind of need a G7 uncommon.
Let me ask do you think that with, I don't know, leaks, do you think that with more TMP outpost-based officers that may or may not, in fact, form a set, do you think that you would be more interested in looking at Uhura now and looking into stronger, higher outpost kills?
Yeah, for sure. In all honesty, what Scopely should be doing is trying to fast track us a little more to 73 to let me, I want that 73 uncommon. But just to do that, it's like, here, drop 25K. And it's like, no, I'm not going that far. I would prefer, don't give me that officer that I could maybe just potentially do it. Fast track us a little bit faster through that to get to the G7 uncommons.
Yeah.
That'd be more interesting to me.
Funny that you mentioned that, because that's kind of exactly why I love the challenge track and why I would, in fact, spend the $20 if I had
get those credits.
Completed the daily. Yeah, because for the Sigma faction credits. The Sigma faction credits are a big need of mine. When I first saw the challenge track, that was the number one thing that I identified that would have value to me is the Sigma faction credits, right? So that's what I was looking at. MJ, KJ to Fly Guy writes in chat. So wait a second, DJs. Are you saying that they're going to follow 7 years of product precedent and have synergy with officers and complete a set in the second month of the arc? I know.
No way. No way.
What? No, that's impossible. All right. But yeah, listen, I'll tell you this. With the officer that is coming this month, KSP, I am interested. And if anything, that makes me want to try to push Furuhara a little bit more just to try to get that synergy set. But by golly, I haven't been able to. Not because the game hasn't let me, just because I'm lazy.
If it lets me beat a 73, I'm in. Like, definitely for sure. I'll be there.
You know,
and I'll get it.
Here's the thing. I can't. Obviously, I don't want to say that you would, but I would say that it's a better tool than what we've got now. You know, by adding that officer and adding that synergy set. Yeah, I think it could. That's why I've kind of been saying for the last week or two that the officer for next month is very interesting to me and looks very much like this set will be really good. Now, this is one argument that I've had, and I've had it with Riskbreaker and I've had it with Cruzito, which is, listen, if we're going to loot these things, then the new officer that's not really a thing, right? But if we're trying to punch up, and even Shiz has been offering insight into this, I think it really depends on what it is that you're chasing, right? Is it plunder or is it outpost cores? Because obviously, as you mentioned, if it's plunder, we're loot crewing and we're punching down a little bit. But if we're wanting to chase those cores, we're trying to hit the larger outpost. And that is where we need a little bit of officer assistance, I think. It's not necessarily with the plunder and the loot, and because we're punching down for those things. So it's interesting to kind of look at how those paths are divergent here a little bit, in which, depends on what it is that you're trying to hit. I'll tell you, the officer for this coming month is definitely going to be a capable officer for combat in Outpost, I think is what I would say. But, is that going to be worth it to everybody, especially if you're practicing a punch down mechanic? Maybe not, and that's what I'm curious about.
Well, I definitely want to get those retaliation medals. So I want to get the full way through, and I would love to be able to have a loot crew with it so that I can maximize getting those retaliation medals, because I am a PvP player. I love incursions. I love arenas. I love everything to do with that. And to get the Esri and the Hierarch, like that's having that combo.
Yeah.
That's a great PvP crew.
It really is. Listen, I was asking MJ about this earlier. MJ, what is your progression with the Hierarch and Esri and Nog? Like, how is your progression looking with those guys? Because, I mentioned I used to love PvP, and I still wish that I could. I just feel like I'm really kind of outgunned by all the tools that have been released into the game, especially the ones for sale. But
well, you are squishy.
I am. But the Hierarch, the Hierarch is providing.
Go ahead.
The Hierarch is interesting. The Hierarch provided me some buff that I wouldn't have expected to have, to be honest with you. It's interesting. MJ, where do you stand with that?
To answer your question, I have enough shards to take both Nog and Esri to tier 2, and I have unlocked the Hierarch as well, but I don't have the plunder. Plunder has been the main issue, and yes, I can punch down, but I don't want to go too far down, but I need to punch up for cores. And you're right, it's a terrible dynamic. I'd love to be able to punch up with one ship having a decent crew that can handle it, wink wink nudge nudge, and then be able to throw a loot crew in there as well. Like there's so many combinations, right? Like so many different things we can do. And there has been this interesting what's the word here? Strategy. An interesting strategy that I've seen floating around where you use survey ships with your Omega 13, and then you also you throw on a loot crew on the one ship for solid loot, right? Have you seen this? You know what I'm talking about?
I've heard of it. I don't actually know how to do it yet. I have heard about it. That's something actually Tarpy was like, that's something that we should talk about on the show at some point. And I feel like we should. Maybe later in the show we'll have you teach us that, MJ, because I've heard about this. But I don't know. I don't understand the science behind it because it feels like the surveys would die really quick.
Okay, the Omega, let me just be clear. The Omega 13, my understanding, keeps them alive for the initial. And then you're only going to be able to do this once every 2 days or 3 days, depending on how many ship slots you have. So that's part of the dynamic there is you want to full loot one crew and then Omega 13, a couple of surveys, send them up. You want to be able to kill whatever with whatever ship you're sending.
The surveys
single
are
ship it like you
outside
would.
the triangle. And they don't get targeted. Oh my God. So
that's what I told you.
Okay, yeah.
The other day.
Now I understand. So wait, but then your warship has to stay alive the whole time, and it's taking 100% of all of the hits. Then, right?
Well, yes. Once you get to the retaliation hostiles.
The Vengeance will survive. I see the Vengeance just one on a 70, like 160 million power, billion power, and it goes through the entire thing. So you're going to start to be able to do stuff like that.
That's brilliant. See, and you know what? I feel like that was unexpected, unanticipated by the game designers.
Definitely.
Yeah. That seems like something they forgot about. Lawson says there is a range of players this will help. It's not for everybody, but it will help. Vul says, so using surveys is kind of a waste. Not necessarily. That's what they're writing in chat. It lets you put all your states on. So you could just have the surveys there that are just constantly providing all the states, your hull breach, your burning, everything. That way you can put combat officers on the other ships. All the states are there. You don't have to worry about putting
loot.
And loot. Yeah.
Yeah. And well, you want your loot crew on your warship, though. That's the important part.
Loot crew on the warship, but you can put Lorca. You can put Nero, GG on the surveys. They're going to stay alive, and you're going to always get your states all the time. Well, I'll be damned. I'm glad that I learned about that before I claim my outpost pass. Whoop, whoop, let's go. All right, fantastic. See, we're teaching. We're learning stuff around here. We're learning stuff, all right? There, Carissa says, hey, the cadets also work. Just throwing that out there. Cadet Uhura with synergy takes off so much damage. What? The cadets? Oh, my God. See?
The cadets, yeah.
Going back. Day one
Basic
stuff.
Buffs. Basic buffs.
Thank you.
Or debuff.
Look at that. Con, did I already ask your rating? Scale of 1 to 10. Where do you find V'ger Rebirth?
I'm completely indifferent. So, I mean, I'll give it a 5 just to be nice.
Oh, come on. Give it a 6 or a 7 at least.
No, let's stop that adolescence-ness.
Yeah, that's my brain. Sorry. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
I was waiting for that.
One thing, if I can give a shout out to Jason V. We took on server 72. The guy fought very hard and very well as a content creator, but Major Samo, nowhere to be seen, shielded and gone to hockey games.
I was going to say she was entertaining Moose, and they had a very busy hockey weekend. In all fairness, so
unacceptable.
Unacceptable. Putz was actually telling me earlier today he was bragging that what is it, server 40? Is that what you said? Server? I got to remember what server Putz is on. Here it is, server. He didn't say. Oh, 45. Server 45. Server 45 says, my server is 5-0 versus content creators. I've beat DJ's server, Tarpy's, Jules twice, and now Rev Deuce's server. He's 5-0 against content creator servers. So, nice. Yeah, we're going to have to step up our game. We're sucking all over the place. MJ, you guys said you won yours this time, right? Well, that's good.
Correct. Yeah.
Somebody representing. Appreciate that. Con, thank you so much for calling in. Appreciate it very much. Thank you for being our guest today. Guys, the stage is open. You guys can raise your hands if you guys would like to come up and talk a little bit about Rebirth. Let's change gears here, MJ, and talk about the officers. What was your officer acquisition this month? How did you do with Uhura? How did you do with Sulu? What did you get anything accomplished here this month?
I have Sulu. Again, I'm not doing the challenge track all that much because I don't have the ship, but I did manage to get Sulu, and I'm halfway into tier 2. It's not that bad. I see his abilities. I'm yet to use them because, again, like you said, waiting for synergy, kind of important. But there is, I think the motion picture series is going to be a good set of officers moving forward with the outposts as we keep playing into that whole outpost mechanic that was still new to us. What, last month before, last month, not January, but December.
No, Outposts were November, weren't they? And then Outposts were November. Then the Elites came. The Elites came a little bit later.
Yeah, that's
I
what
think.
it was.
Yeah,
that's what it was. That's what it was.
Yeah. So, so Sulu and you said you did not have Uhura yet, and I feel like that's something that I kind of want to focus for. So, but I have not been successful this month. I do have tier 2 of Sulu, and I have used him, but without synergy, I feel like it's just not. There's not a lot of bang for my buck there just yet. So I was
just a
curious.
drop in the bucket.
Yeah. What are you thinking as far as let's pretend, let's fast forward, let's play the leak game. If there was a third officer that came out that had decent outpost abilities, is this going to renew your effort with the challenge track? Are you going to try to get in and get Uhura unlocked, presuming that it stays the same? We don't even know that it will. Should it, MJ?
Well, okay. Here's the thing. Again, with no ship, I can't complete it. I am doing it every day, but I can't get the epic rewards. I can't get the legendary rewards. So my grind's going to be longer than, say, anybody else's that did purchase Excelsior.
Yeah, because you're what, limited to 10 shards. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. That's the slow point, that slow drip. I'm assuming that'll pick up. I'm sure Uhura will get different sourcing. I'm sure somebody else will be plopped into the challenge track. And then once I do have Excelsior, then I can look at, okay, well, is it worth the 20 this week? Is the 20 shards, if it's still 20 shards, mind you, because that's subject to change.
Yeah.
Is it worth going and buying this $20 pack, which, again, I'm not against it. But the value there, would I do it right now? Yes, I would. I'd pay the $20 a week. That's just me.
I don't know if I would do it every single week, but I certainly would be. I would be much more interested in spending on this challenge pass if it gave me a little bit more grace than it does.
Right.
The fact that it allows you to miss one event, that's fine. But missing one day, I think, would be better. Because if you're going to do one of the dailies, you're going to get them both, right? So
yeah.
Give me a little bit more. Give me a little bit more slack there, because you can see from mine, I am short 100 points. 100 points. Now, a day's worth is 275 or 375 if you have the ship. If I had done one of those dailies, I'd be there. Adjust these milestones by 100 points, and I'd feel better about it. That would at least give people a 1 day break instead of just a one event. But I'm going to miss this last milestone here by 100 points. Vic says, why are you short? Because I'm lazy.
You missed a day.
I missed a day. That's right, Cruzito. I want rewards for not playing the game. That's what I want, okay? Give it to me. Give it to me.
Here's the other thing, though. Real life happens too, man. Like, there are times where you can't do these things every single day. And that's fine. That you have to take time out of your day. You have to take time out of your life to be able to focus on playing this game in the first place. And it's a lot to do. I mean, at one point in time, people said, oh, well, it's like a second job. I don't feel like that. But I do feel like that there's quite a lot on the list of things I have to get done each and every day.
Sure.
So
what is on that list for you, MJ? When we're talking about your experience as a creator and how you play the game, what's on your list? What do you focus on today? What does your daily gameplay look like?
Okay, so dailies for sure. I do those right at reset because God knows if I'm going to have time the next night to get them done before reset. Events probably an hour or two after event reset, depending on whether I have to work or not. Sometimes right at. sometimes I'll be done 30 minutes right after event reset, and other times I won't mess with it until I get home that night to do because I work too. That's the other thing. I am a, and spoiler here, those in my community already know, so I don't mind saying it. I am a Taco Bell employee, just for so everybody knows. There is quite a lot that they let me do, including play on my tablet while I'm taking people's orders. So that helps a lot.
That's amazing. That's great.
Isn't it? Isn't it? My boss, he's been very supportive, very supportive. The whole thing is, if I need to fuel this refinery, if I need to fuel that refinery, if I need, let's go grind silence today, let's do Gorn tomorrow, I need to go kill Zendi the day after that. Like, it just depends on what I'm running low on. Like, for instance, today in particular, I'm out of ore. I need to be mining. Am I? No, but I should be.
You should be, yeah. Okay. All right. So just keeping a stock, keeping a list. There's not. So you're more of a bulk play guy. I've talked about this in the past.
Yeah.
There are people that will do a little bit of everything every day. That doesn't work for me. I'll spend 15, 20 minutes on a task and then not want to do it again for several days, I guess is kind of how I look at it. Vic says we all need to be mining, but we don't. I have no steel. How dumb. I need steel. That is my bottleneck right now. I should be mining steel. I'm not. I should be mining
Welcome to the 70s.
Yeah.
That is the general consensus across the board.
Is parasteel.
Parasteel.
Yeah, that's crazy. Awesome. Well, parasteel. It's great. Yeah, we all do, says Andy.
Yeah.
Am I still out of steel? Yep. Yeah, I still can't do a single building. Do the events that pay out steel? I'll think about it.
I mean, do the
around to
events that you can do, period. I think that anything you can get for free is awesome. Anything you have to pay for is also awesome if you paid for it. You know, if that's how you play your game.
There was just an event to get all the steel you needed. That's not true, because you got to grind through hours and hours and hours of the normal stuff to get to the good stuff. All right, give me a way to skip that and raid Sigma. Oh, I'd be so in on that.
I don't think. Well, now maybe, who knows? Maybe in a couple of months we'll get a way to raid Sigma straight, but that's not where we're at right now.
Yeah, that's true.
That is something the community wants.
Yeah, so, I want it. I might raid again if I could get Sigma. I'm sure
if we say this enough, and let's say we get a forbidden tech on our amalgams, right? I mean, it's as simple as that. It really is a piece of code. So there's no reason, and I don't know. Again, I have no idea, but there's no reason that we can't come up with a prototype tech that says, "Hey, focus on Sigma first, and then, or a percentage of your Sigma that's in someone's base." It really can be that simple, because that's what the amalgam does anyway, right?
I want that. Give it to me. All right. Yes,
just saying.
I need that. All right. Well, let's get ready to wrap up here as we're taking a look, and I want to go around our panel as well. We've got Putz, we've got Matters, Tarpy on the stage as well, and I'd like to get some of their ratings on the arc before we come back to our guest of honor today and talk about the final passage, the final ratings on Rebirth Part 1 as we prepare and look forward to Rebirth Part 2. Again, I'll remind you, the stage is still open. You guys can raise your hands if you guys would like to come up and pass your judgment here today. Matter says it won't work on the amalgam because the sub G6 ships are coded to not be able to carry Sigma. Yeah, but code's a funny thing with Scopely. All right. Code is a funny thing, because
code can be changed.
Code can be changed, and then it can do all kinds of stuff that it's not supposed to do or should do, or, things like that.
In response to that, Crazito, what I would say is, okay, so a prototype tech for your 68 miners. I mean, it can be that simple.
Yeah, that bypasses. Yeah, that would be interesting. Sigma rating forbidden tech would be for the Aphelion, for example, not the amalgam, and that's probably fair, to be honest with you. That's probably what it should be. But yeah, no, interesting thoughts there. All right, well, let's come over to the panel. Putz on server 45. Congratulations on your incursion victory, good sir. 5-0 against content creator servers. We're going to have to
Thank you.
step up our game there a little
Thank
bit. Where were your points of contention? You know, one thing that I've noticed here, MJ, is that everybody that has called in from our communities today, no one has had a significant amount of trouble with these V'ger hostels. It's interesting that we're noting that today. Putz, be the one that breaks the mold. Did you struggle with V'ger hostels this month?
I didn't, but if I don't build another ship, then my relativity may not handle the 70s when I get there, right? Like I have to like you know how like when you get to the ops, then there's like, oh, I got to get to the shipyard before you build the ship type of thing. I can handle the 68s, I can handle some 69s, but there is nothing in my arsenal that can even come close to a 70. So I don't know what to do besides maybe I don't go to 70 when I get there right away and hold back a month so that I know I can get all the way to 70 shipyard.
So you can build the epic ship and
Yep.
yeah. I mean, that's and honestly, that's probably something that Scopely shouldn't want. You know what I'm saying? Like they should want us opsing up, which they have demonstrated that they do, but they continue to do this. And MJ, I've said this for years and years that events should be based not on your ops, but on your level of shipyard. All right, because somebody who just goes to 70, like Putz is ready to do, still can't build that epic ship yet. It could be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks before they're able to actually build that shipyard. And yet they'll still have events that require the ship of the ops, knowing that the shipyard is 5 buildings deep into that ops level. You know, that's not something that'll ever change, but it is a fundamental issue. It's been a long time.
I think what you're saying is 100% right. Like, if you can't build the 70 ship, why are you expected to kill the 70 hostiles? You know,
Yeah.
that's fair. Granted, specialty ships can do things now, but come on. That's the mechanic. That's how it works. So, yeah, I agree with you. 70 shipyard should be your benchmark, not Ops 70.
And Shiz, you're right. What happened to prepare your punch up before opsing up? And listen, a lot of players do that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but not everybody does. And you have to, as a game developer, you don't want to create, well, I guess maybe you do. I don't know. You don't want that experience for the majority of your players to be negative, right? It at least needs to be mathematically possible, right? It needs to be mathematically possible. But what is not mathematically possible is building your level 70 ship when you hit Ops 70, right? That is not mathematically possible.
It doesn't necessarily need to be easy either, DJ. Like, there's a middle ground.
Sure.
100%.
Yeah. Pal is on the stage. Hang on.
By the way, I'm not upset about that at all.
Okay.
Like, I it's fine. I think it's fine. Like, that was my only hiccup is like, now that once I'm getting to there, you know, what do I do? Right? Because of these new hostels, I'm not ready for, but I'm okay with that. Totally fine.
Yeah, fair enough. If you were giving your rating on the arc, Putz, go ahead and issue it now.
A solid C. So I would give it a 7.
7. Okay, thank you. I was going to say, you know, we talked about this for 2 weeks. We're not doing letter grades, you daggone teachers. All right. No letter grades. All right, because they're so. Listen, I think remember Bubba Joe used to grade much harsher than I would. I think you guys would have loved to have me as a professor, because like to me, you could fail, you could do terrible work, and it would still be a 50%. I didn't give zeros. All right, I would be a great teacher, or maybe not a great teacher.
Class existed.
Do what?
Like you just wouldn't go to class.
Yeah, you could do absolutely nothing and get a 50%, but 50% is still failing, right? So, I mean, you'd have to show up at least once a week. That'd be fine. Putz, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Pal has called in. Welcome, Pal, to the stage. Appreciate it. Thank you for calling in the Talking Trek. How was your experience with V'ger Rebirth? What's your ops level?
I actually went 70 this month.
You went 70. Look at it. Congratulations.
Way to go, Pal.
Woo woo. Went to 70. When did you do it? Like midway or just now or at the beginning? When did you actually push that button?
During Coda.
Okay.
So, like,
What
a week and
happened?
a half ago. at
What
this
happened
point,
to your
it feels like.
V'ger dailies after you did that?
I was actually punching way up beforehand. I was doing 70 Gorn. I can't quite do the 71 Gorn with my relativity as of yet. I have plans to help remedy that problem because I'll be going 71 during this month's Coda.
What are your plans?
And then,
how do you remedy that situation with the G6 Epic?
that, or I think the Red Relentless did it with a T16 cube. I'll have to get back to him on that one.
Okay. So by tiering up the rare, you can get the cube up, and then you guys are using specialty crew to. Are you single tapping these things? I mean, is that what you're doing? You're having to make multiple trips?
Yeah, I have to make multiple trips. The Gorn one is like 2 hostiles per hull, and then the Hurok and Silence are like 4 to 5 per hull.
Okay. All right. So
on 71s.
And that's one's So I mean, you're fine at 70. That's wild. I really am squishy, MJ. God bless. Maybe, hey, listen, maybe next month you guys are all going to be fine with this new hostile. All right. Maybe I'm the one who's going to suck, and you guys are going to be perfectly fine. You're like, what was DJ talking about? Oh, he's just squishy. Don't worry about it.
Listen, if it makes you feel any better, you are not the only one in the community that has said, "Hey, it's going to get hard." So.
Yeah, but maybe, maybe it'll be easy for you guys. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's just us. I don't know. Maybe we're retrieving. I don't know. Pal, give me your thoughts on the challenge track.
I did not buy the ship at all, and consequently, I didn't also buy the $20 whatchamacallit. Oh, thanks for reminding me. I needed to collect my.
Yeah, you got like you got 2 hours left on that, guys. 2 hours to claim your challenge track. Oh, wait, is it 2 hours or 3 hours? What time is it? It's 8 o'clock. Okay, 3 hours. Sorry, math. Woohoo! 3 hours left to claim your challenge track, and as we know, it won't auto claim, so you need to go ahead and go in there and actually claim it. All right, so don't forget to do that. So you did not purchase the ship. So were you able to clear all 5 milestones every single week?
Yeah.
Okay. So no major troubles for you.
I was only disappointed when they edited the time frames on them, because I was going to try to do that cheeky method.
I get it, but I mean, obviously, we saw that week 1. We knew that wasn't right? I mean, we didn't think that was going to stick around, did we?
Yeah, player beneficial bugs. I'm surprised it didn't get patched by the end of the week.
Well, I mean, yeah, I suppose, but yeah, Paulo says, Scopely, why'd you move the time? Because it lines up with the events. We did hope. All right, Pal, you're a math guy. Tell me what that actually would have done. I heard some people, like, I know it would have helped you in 1 week, but would that not have hurt you in the second week?
No, actually, at least for me, because I was doing the free path, and right now I have like almost 300 points over milestone 5. So, what is it, like 275 a day?
Yeah, 275 a day.
So I would have been fine.
Balabom says, with that method, with the Excelsior, you could have actually gotten the legendary milestone for free every other week. Well, that's probably why they fixed it. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, right? I mean, maybe it might have had something to do with their monetization schedule on that. But okay. Well, I wasn't sure. I figured if you were going to double pull, if you were going to like pull too much in 1 week, I figured that would have left you short in the second week. But I guess not.
I don't believe so. Excelsior owners might have better, different numbers, because that'd be for milestone 7 and 8, like that split. But for milestone 5 and 6, you could do it.
Huh.
Every week, you still get the 5.
Wow.
It's just every
Yeah.
other week is number 6.
Okay.
Yeah, you are exactly 175 points away from level 6 if you're perfect free to play. And if you would just collect that one in that hour, that would perfectly get you to there. And then you can afford to be 175 down and still get level 5 the next week. So it was the same exact thing. We could do level 6 every other week, and Excelsior owners could do the
Level
last one,
8
the legendary.
every other week.
Yeah.
Well, that, I mean, I get it. I get why we would love that, and I guess it's probably good that they let it stay, because how long did it last that way? It was 2 weeks that way, right? Like the first week, and then the second week is when they fixed it, or the third week's when they fixed it? I think it was the third week, right? It lasted that way 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think so.
The third week.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess the fact that we were able to use it for a couple of weeks there, but I mean, it shouldn't really be a major surprise that got fixed. That was the monetization path for the challenge track, was, to sell that $20 token. So, it probably makes sense. I mean, I'm glad you guys were able to get it for a couple of weeks, but that's a tough one to hold their feet to the fire on, probably. But Pal, with regards to the month as a whole, you didn't struggle on the hostels. You enjoyed the challenge track. You were able to do all your dailies. Is there anything that you didn't like about the month?
So this harps back on with the whole outpost thing, but that we're having troubles with when it comes to the sourcing of the directives to get the loot. But the refinery for the challenge, I am just not a fan at all of the new proto-techs that they have that are exclusively for outposts. They feel like, due to Scopely's changes in response to our feedback, which I don't feel like they really heard properly, it feels like they killed off these items before they even released.
How you figure? Explain that to me. I mean, for the record, I don't think that the prototype forbidden techs are that great either, to be clear. But what do you mean that they killed them off? I don't think they're good forbidden techs to begin with, but what is it about them that would have been exciting or not exciting? Why is that related to the challenge track?
Well, it's to the whole arc in general, but these are in the refinery. They're not like crazy, in my opinion, to begin with. But then with their changes to outposts, it being that we can't run them as often.
Oh, yeah.
As we should.
Oh, so they just don't have value to you, is what you're saying. Like, there's no need for anybody to chase
they
these
mainly
things.
have no. Yeah, especially because since I'm free to playing the ship, I don't have the extra income for that.
Yeah, because you're pulling the Excelsior blueprints. Yeah. Listen, if it's any consolation, I don't think they're worth it either. I am pulling a single chest on one of them, and just the one that I normally do, which is the Borg ones. But I don't think that they're great, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm only spending on them because I've got a surplus of the credits, but the challenge credits. But I don't think that they're. MJ, what are your thoughts on these new prototype forbidden techs? I don't know. I'm not feeling them.
Man, I'm right there with you. It's not something I'm going to go out of my way to purchase or go after, because again, most of the things that we can do, again, outpost stuff is cool, but we need more officers first. Then let's revisit and see if these techs are worth it.
No, I mean, in that regard, might be good that they're here. If you're wanting to come back and visit them at another time, we don't have to be pulling these right now. You could be pulling the Excelsior blueprints. You could be pulling the faction credits, if that's a thing. You could be pulling extra in the efficiency refinery, which I think everybody should be focused on there. I mean, I'm still pulling for Squall and Reliant and now the Vengeance, which is great. That's probably where the majority of our challenge credits should go, is in that efficiency exchange. But for the rest of it, I don't know that I'm feeling. I guess I'm not feeling much value. Maybe I'm agreeing with Pal that there's just not enough value in the challenge track refinery. To me, the benefit the benefit of the challenge track is not necessarily the refinery, but the other stuff, right? The control cores, the officer shards, the faction credits for me, the Sigma faction credits. I think I would agree with you, Pal, that the refinery itself is a little lackluster. So maybe we can see something change about that. But yeah, I'm not absolutely dying for anything in here other than the efficiency bundles. I like those. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
What would you what would you do?
I do.
What would you do to the challenge refinery? What would you want to see here?
So unsurprising to some of my calls or my calls to arms recently, and the fact that Jules made a list of primes that aren't sourceable. How many of those primes are 6+ months old?
Sure.
To the point to where even like today we saw some like refit, or this past week the sales on like these refits that are old that already have a free to play pass somewhere else. So a good amount of players got those refits or primes from the free to play path, which I see the one today being the Monavine skin, which is in Alliance tournaments.
Yeah. I could definitely see some more store options in here. I think that would be a great idea.
Specifically primes, not just the Dolomite primes that they put in like 4 refineries, or the prime orbits that are in like 3 or 4 refineries. Primes that don't have sourcing.
Something new.
Preferably some of the new-esque ones, like maybe within the last year. So, although I'm kind of including this like the prime.
Can I ask here, pal?
Yeah.
Maybe some of the ones like we see in Galactic Rush, by instance?
Yes. That some of those are ones that I would like to have in a regular refinery or actual sourcing somewhere else, because Galactic Rush is a glorified spend event.
Well, there are people that disagree with that, and only because there's partial progression. Now, I agree. It's going to be slow, right? I'm not maxing that event. I know very few people who are. But there are some things that you can get out of here that don't require you to go like all in, I guess, right? Like, of course, I guess you got to, no, to get the primes, you got to finish top 10, don't you?
That's it. That's the problem.
And it's only half a prime.
There's your issue. There's your sign right
You
there.
can only
Okay,
get
I'll take it
half
back.
a prime.
Yep, I get it.
Top 10 and only a maximum of half a prime. For the
Which they
weapon
did
drain one, it's only a quarter.
make that easier this month. They did change that at least, so more teams will get top 10. Not necessarily enough teams, but more teams.
Did they change the banding on it a little bit? Is that what they did?
They did announce that before it opened, that they
Gotcha.
were changing the number of brackets.
Okay, well, that's a good thing, I suppose.
That's positive.
Yeah, it looks like I'm actually looks like my team will finish in the top 10, which is actually kind of exciting. I haven't even looked at that store because I've never been interested in it. So maybe I should spend a little time in there. I have not spent my loot though, which is good. I didn't spend my loot just in case something like that would happen. Now I might be able to go in here and take a look and see what primes I might be able to pull off something like that. But yeah, I see. Since they're sourcing these, might be nice to throw them in to another place. You know what else I'd like to see is I would like to see 2 things. One, I would like to see in the challenge store, I would like to see outpost directives. And to be clear, MJ, and I don't know where you stand on this, but directives have never really been the problem, in my opinion. It's actually the plunder. It's the loot, right? It's the cost
there's
of the
not
store.
enough.
It's the cost of the store. It's the loot. All this, and I've said this. Lost In just wrote it. I don't think that there's anything that they could do to, with all the tools that they're introducing, to make enough of a difference to overcome punching down with a loot crew as compared to punching what you're supposed to be punching. That is a fundamental problem. I think that's, if we're going to shoot off on a side tangent here, pal, and MJ, I think that's the fundamental problem with Outpost. The directives would be fine if the loot was proper. And there's no scenario in which you can explain to me that punching down 3 or 4 levels should pay you more than punching your own level. Like, that to me is a fundamental flaw. And honestly, if that were fixed, I think we would all have a very, very, very different perspective on Outpost. I think we would be disappointed with the directive dropdown, but it wouldn't be as prohibitive or as punitive as it is right now, because there is just a problem with the loot table. That is it. I'm not angry that I get to do less Outpost, MJ. I'm angry because I can't get enough of the juice to be able to do anything with it. The event store's too expensive, or I'm not getting enough plunder from the outposts themselves. It's not that I want to spend more time. I want my time to be paid at what I feel it's worth, and that is where I think we have the problems with the loot table. Now, if they're not going to fix that,
100%.
which I'm 98% sure they're not, okay, then you got to do something. I would like to see more directives here, if that's going to be the only outlet that they give us. But moreover, I want to see the development of an exocomp, pal. I want to see the development of an exocomp that lasts for 7 hours, okay? 7 hours, that I can buy in this store, that gives me a 500% boost to outpost loot. And that, to me, would solve the problem. Tell me if that's good or bad, pal. If they gave me something in here, they gave me a 7 hour, and I say 7 because, whatever, just in case you pop it and whatever. So 7 hours, make it cost, I don't know, what, 500 challenge credits? I think 500 is reasonable. 500 challenge credits. Give me a 7-hour exocomp for a 500% boost to outpost loot. Problem solved. It could be
Let me ask
6
DJ.
hours, dude. Or it could be 6 hours. I was just saying, give players a little bit of grace for life, in case they pop it and then they don't.
500. Would 500 be enough?
I mean, that's why we're loot crewing it now, right?
Okay, but let's say we do that with our loot crew too, and it also depends on where it falls in the equation, right? So, my question is, what is an acceptable amount? Like 500, I know that's right off the top of your head.
It is, yeah, it is
right
off the top of my head. Maybe it needs to be 1,000. I don't care.
Maybe, but my question is, and maybe somebody else who's better with math than me can answer this. Where is an acceptable number? And again, this is all theoretical. Nothing's confirmed.
Sure.
But what is a theoretical number that would be appropriate to help our outpost loot game? Because that is a major problem.
It is.
You said it, fundamental problem.
It is. It's a problem with the game design. And Cruzito, to be clear, I agree with you. He says, no, they need to reduce the cost of the items needing plunder, not an increase in loot gain. Dude, I totally agree with you. Tell me how many times in the history of this game, and by the way, there have been a few, so I'm not saying that it'll never happen, but tell me how many times in the history of this game that they've gone back and fundamentally changed the actual design of a feature. It's very rare. Extremely rare.
DJ.
Go ahead, Putz.
Yeah, here's the problem with just doing an exocomp that gives you extra loot, right? If, let's say that you do the 500% and now you can punch, now you're going to punch up, right, to hit your level to get more loot than you would have gotten if you punch down with your loot crew. Well, guess what? You're going to still punch get down. More loot.
You would still get more loot punching down. Okay, so make it an exocomp that works on your level -1. Right? Make it an exocomp that works on your ops level -1. Like, they could do that. They could do that.
You wouldn't. Here's the problem. Get more loot.
Here's what they need
to
do.
I see where Putz is coming from here.
Yeah, no, he's right.
They have the gaps to the next, from the 60 to the 63 to the 63 to the 66. they all need to be geometrically bigger. They're not.
Yes, I agree. I agree. But what I'm saying is, and I hear you. I hear, and everybody in chat telling me that's right. Cruzito's right. Putz is right. What I'm telling you is, we stand little to no chance of that actually happening. Okay, I've had these conversations, so let me just be clear, and I've said this to the community before, that sometimes I have to be a little bit more revealing with the hints. Okay, ain't gonna happen. All right, let me just be real clear. They're not going to redesign that.
That's pretty clear.
Okay, that's pretty clear. They're not going to do that. And I've asked, and they're not going to do it. So now I'm coming back with, how do we task them with coming up with a solution that can work, that is simpler than rewriting the entire feature. All right, and we've talked about this. Pal says the problem with that is that it'll just be a prime, and honestly, that probably would make sense if they were going to do that. That would track, right? But at least then eventually a prime would become grindable, we hope. But it is a problem, and it's a problem I don't feel like they're going to address, to be clear. So that's why I'm saying, let's come up with other ideas. Pal, if you couldn't change the loot table, what are you going to do about it?
If you can't change the loot table and they don't add anything to help us with it, like the loot, then I guess I'm not getting Cisco until he's put in an event store in like 8 months.
Yeah. Well, and to be clear, I'm not saying, I'm saying that I'm encouraging, I'm trying to source ideas for them to do something about it that isn't going to be rewriting the feature, that isn't going to be rewriting the loot table. That's why I say maybe an EXO or something like that, because I don't feel like the loot table is going to be rewritten. I think we all know that the problem is the loot table. We all agree with that. We all agree that the costs in the
100%.
store are FUBAR. It's all wrong, okay? But if they're not going to go back and fundamentally change that design, which I don't believe that they will, then we have to find something that we can entice them with to help solve our problem. And maybe it is putting directives in the challenge refinery. Maybe it is developing some type of exo comp or something like that. Although now you guys are telling me that might be more complicated, because we're gonna find ways around that.
No, if you just target the exo comp that says this exo comp is good for the 63s. This exo comp is good for the 66s, and actually target the exo comp to the specific level, and that's what you're getting rewarded depending on your ops range.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to work, because it'll be a nightmare to code it.
Yeah.
But also the fact that there's some players that are like 63, 64, for example, that can't even do a 63, either because their account isn't where it's at, or maybe they skipped the uncommon. And under normal circumstances, why would you get the uncommon if you don't want to? Are you really going to build an entire ship for one piece of content?
Well, yeah, no, that's a fair point. And you're right. The targeting on the exocomp does add complication that probably will prevent that idea from being viable. I'm looking for a simple solution. Something simple. And honestly, the simplest answer, MJ, which is not my desired output because I don't want to spend more time on it, but the simplest answer is free up the directives back to where they were in month 2. Because that was what people were upset about. And honestly, if for even people who don't fundamentally understand the problem, MJ, they're going to be screaming for directives anyway. They could do this EXO. They could make the store cheaper. They could change the loot tables. But what people were pissed about were the directives, right? So if you want to
directives.
Yeah, you want to keep this
directives
simple.
are 100% the issue.
Yeah, well,
they're 100% the only solution.
They are.
It's not the issue.
Without directives, you can't get any loot anyways.
Well, that's true. And so even though that's not like the core problem here, I feel, if they just put the directives back, problem solved. Right? Just problem solved. That is the simplest answer that they could do to make everybody the happiest. All right. Lloydson said it is an AFK mechanic. Yeah, but it still blocks you off from 6 hours. Like, what if I start an outpost and then I'm like, oh, maybe I need to poop. right? And I got some time to go do something. I can't. My ships are stuck. You know? So I don't know. But to circle this way crazy conversation, pal, thank you for kicking off a tangent. All the way back to the challenge store. Yeah, throw some freaking directives in here. All right? Give some value back to it. And salvage a feature that the community overwhelmingly kind of liked. And overwhelmingly kind of got miffed at when you hacksawed it at the knees. You know? So I don't know. I feel like they got to do something with that. But I agree with you, pal. This arc itself in a silo wasn't that bad. The biggest sour taste of this month for me and for everybody else, I do believe, were the outposts. I agree with that. MJ?
1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%, man. Look, when they cut us down by what? To 33% of what we were getting?
I think it was a little better than that, but it was
cut.
definitely less than 50. It was less than 50%. I don't think it was. I guess maybe in the specific scenario, it might have been more than 50%. But yeah, it was a lot.
What are we getting now? We're getting one start a week, one start every 6 days.
Well,
so
one start a week
versus one every 2.
Yeah, but you also you are getting a couple, 2 in the battle pass and the free track of the battle pass. And then I guess that's it, right? So you're down to 6. You're down to 6 a month. Oh, 4. That's right. 4 in Alliance tournament. So you're at 10. You're at 10, and we were at 24 or 22. Yeah. So a little over 50%.
That's a huge cut.
Andy says you can't count Alliance tournaments, and I do disagree with that. I do feel like you can count Alliance tournaments. That is free to play sourcing. It's choice. But it's free to play.
You can't, though, because it's not for every tier.
But it wasn't an option before.
It's elite, right? Elite and higher?
Yeah.
Well,
No, it's... Yeah, so not everybody has it,
directives.
though. It's kind of the thing.
All right. You guys are really going to make me the asshat today, aren't you? Listen, elite or higher mathematically constitutes like 75 to 80% of the players in this game. Okay.
Expert, by the way.
Expert. Okay. It's the top 2 tiers. Those are the highest alliances, and it is a vast majority. It's not everybody. Agreed. But if it's not you, it's probably by choice.
Might be time to find. Yeah, it might be time to find a new alliance.
All right, if it's not you, then it's probably by choice. I'm gonna dodge the tomato cans. I'm dodging them. Okay, I'm saying.
I mean, really, you're not wrong.
That's a choice.
You're not wrong because you're choosing to stay with a group that is not participating enough to get the rewards that you could be getting if you were with a bigger group. That is a choice. That is 1,000% a choice.
Thank you for not making me the only bad guy up here. Leave your alliance. Your alliance is poopy. Okay, yeah, that's right. Thank you, pal. Recruit, yeah, make your alliance bigger. Pal, thank you for calling in. I appreciate that very much. We've got one more on the stage as we get ready to wrap up. We've got Forgotten Sec is here. Good afternoon. You are muted, but I know you've been on hold for quite some time. This is, again, MJ, I love this feature. This is just like at the old radio stations where somebody would
the call-in feature.
Yeah, somebody would stay on hold for like 20 minutes just waiting to come on and say something, and then that's what Forgotten Sec. He's been on hold for like 20 minutes. Thank you for staying and waiting as long as you did, Forgotten Sec. You are on mute. If you'll pop off mute, welcome into the stage. Appreciate you. Welcome to Talking Trek. How was the arc for you? See, he waited so long that his battery died. My fault. Sorry, Forgotten Sec. We'll give him another second to pop in if we can. And yes, the survey. I need to pull that up. Let me see if I can find that.
Yes, because that's important.
Yeah. How did we do on that survey? Here we go. 138 responses. Fantastic. Oh, I know why it's not working. And it's because I'm in dark mode. That's what I can't pull it up. Well, I can't see it. So I'm not going to put it on screen.
I don't know how people do anything in light mode.
Yeah, well, because it's here. I'll show it to you. I'll show it to you guys. It's not my fault. All right, just warning you now. The reason that this won't show up well on stream is because I'm in dark mode, so it inverts these. So I can kind of show, a little bit But yeah, it's kind of all messed up. But anywho, that is the survey. I can go over the survey results then. No, I can read them for sure. I just can't show them, which I really wanted to be able to do. But Tarpy, you were telling me too that people could actually. This is what's cool about this survey. Anybody can click on the link and see the results from themselves, right? So if we just put the link up there, anybody could go and look at the data. Is that right? Control A. Are you guys getting ready to make me format my hard drive? Control. Oh, look at that! It selects everything, so at least it's highlighted in blue. Okay, we can run with that. If you have more than one account that you play, which ops bracket is your main account in? 98.6% of players reported being 51 plus. MJ, is that representative of your community? It's not of mine, I wouldn't think. Or maybe
no, I don't think so. I mean, I have more 51 pluses than I do G4 and below, but I don't think that that's an accurate representation by any means.
Probably not. Probably maybe more accurate. Here's the problem, Lost In. Okay, true talk. I could switch out of dark mode. If I do that, I lose MJ because MJ's in Chrome. So if I flip it around,
let's not do that.
And for the record, the extended show intro is because I did that. I switched into light mode and then lost MJ, and it took me like 15 minutes to get him back. So I'm not. I don't want to risk it. I don't want to risk it. We got a caller real quick. Oh, never mind. I lost. Oh no, there he is. Packet. What's going on, Packet? Welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, DJ's doing well. Thank you.
What's going on, man? How was Rebirth for you?
It was fine. I did buy the Excelsior. The thought I was going to throw out in regards to the forbidden tech, the officers, and outposts. One thing that's when Outposts first launched, I looked at it, and because they initially said it was going to run every so often, and the Saris invasion thing, I just ignored all the monetization of it. But now what that has happened is when we come to the TMP officers, I can hit my ops appropriate outposts. So I ignore the monetization of the TMP officers because why? They took away the directives, they've taken away the loot. There's no reason for me to chase that stuff. I've written it off.
Yeah, that's
so that
fair.
may be something that if we want to argue, hey, they should release the directives, monetization and the loss of it might be something they haven't looked at yet, especially if there's new officers coming.
Well, that's very, very true. That, as a matter of fact, was a point, MJ, that was brought up earlier this month, was people who did invest in outpost-related stuff. You know, there were even primes last month and the month before related to outpost, and a lot of players felt like that was devalued by their unwilling limitation of not being able to play them now. They've lost value in what they spent, which is sadly no stranger to Star Trek Fleet Command. I still go back to that day when I freaking bought that Parts Prime, and then the next month Dolomite Primes came out. I will never forget that. You know, but to Packet's point, I will never forget that. I was so mad about that. I will never forget that, you know? And I'm sure that I'm not the only player that hides out in the back of their head. You know, if I buy this now, is it going to burn me next month? You know, I mean, that's the thing. Look at my pay flower, right?
Can I say, is that not something that we always kind of face every month when they introduce new things, such as the Outpost Primes? Sourcing may change on anything in the game at any point in time. There's no reason for a lot of it to, but I mean, it could.
Yeah.
It's all subject to change.
It is, and you know, that's what they'll lean on, but it doesn't necessarily make it a good move. You know, Lloydson says, cough, cough, Mantis. Kinda. That at least did eventually get fixed. Okay? Like, at least then you were able to get out of it what you put into it. All right? But we're still not there on the Outpost Primes, for example. All right? Still not there.
Not yet.
No.
It's all subject to change, but this seems to be an unnecessary acceleration. But this is spanning at least 2 arcs now, and if we're getting officers next month that are also supposed to help with outposts, we're going to go into a 3rd arc of people looking at these officers and saying, "Why I don't have the directives to run outposts even at the current loot tables, so I'm going to pass."
Yeah, no,
I mean, that's not invalid. You're not wrong. Might I say though that there is always the possibility of change, as I was kind of trying to lead to earlier. I don't think that this model, and again, I know we've said that this is what they want to do, this is what's sustainable, but at the same time, I don't think that it's enough. And I'm not alone. A majority of the community, I know you guys agree. Everybody has said as much, but the willingness to be able to speak out and say that's important, and I definitely appreciate your insight there.
Yeah, for sure. Packet, thank you so much for calling in. Forgotten Sec is back on the stage if we can muster him up. He is still muted, but maybe he's got a button that he can press.
Hear me now?
Hey, there he is. Whatever.
There he is. We got him.
All right.
Forgotten
Long-time
Sec.
listener, first-time caller. I enjoyed this arc. I didn't really get the officers, but bought the ship. I had a lot of fun. Probably somewhere 5.5. It worked. Definitely not enough directives, and 6 hours just tough because every time I've tried, it's either when I'm about to go to sleep or bad timing. Like, for example, in the incursions, I was like, oh, I'll throw one out. Then I realized, wait, I'm in the 71 system. I can't go to sleep. I can't shield. And now I'm in the situation where I might get screwed if someone tried to raid me. So I had to hang out and watch. That was my own fault. But, I think they've set up, it's just too long and not enough outposts. I know they wanted to have it as an intermittent feature, but they certainly didn't price anything in the store as an intermittent feature. And, as you said, we're very short on Sigma faction credits. We're very short on Sigma Tritanium still to even get Epics Max to get G7 ships. We're going to run into a train wreck as it takes in a ton more. And I think that kind of paints us into a really stuck position because we don't have the resources to do what we need to do. Will I get Cisco? Someday. 141 shards from now. A lot of the officers don't really have good sourcing, and frankly, a lot of it comes from the outposts where we don't have enough, and I can't necessarily switch to a loot crew. I can kill the 70s, but I'm not doing it with a loot crew. So, look at this. I don't have a lot of options with what they've given us for outposts.
What is the solution for you? And I ask that after having read you this comment. Lost In says it's not even the directives from a different perspective. They need to buff the capabilities of all the tools, including the officers. It's not that we need or want more directives. We need to be able to achieve more loot with the directives we have by hitting our levels. The tools that they're releasing don't cut that. That's a valid perspective as well. What do you do about outpost sec if you wanted to try? If you're the fleet command team, how do you fix it?
I think they need to, one, give us more directives, and two, give us more, make them faster. I think 6 hours just is too much.
Funny about that. I think the 6 hours. I think the 6 hours was meant to be long so that we could use the buffs in other areas of the game. Where's my laugh track?
I understand that.
Where's my laugh track?
Trash. The buffs really don't provide value in the game.
Yes.
And as it is, I know I'm not the only one who runs into this where, there's only two real time people are going to do them: when they're about to go to work or when they're about to go to sleep.
Yes.
Those are really the two times people are going to do them. And, if you start one before you go to work, you're not playing at lunch. If you stay, it's very limiting. And I know they have the intention to make it valuable with those buffs, but that just isn't working in a lot of different ways. We have our best ships in the outpost, so that means we can't get the buffs on the ships we need to use to actually do the content where the buffs would matter. So it kind of didn't really make a lot of sense to begin with, to have this idea of this major buff coming out of something that kind of takes our best ships and officers.
Yep.
And again, the cost of the buffs further hurts the lack of resources that we already are stuck at.
Oh, I know. The fact that they cost steel and trite is insane. That's so silly.
I think it's going to be interesting when I finally open up the third slot. That'll help. That'll make maybe I will be able to use Loot Crew at that point. But with 2 ships, that's not happening for now. And I'm halfway to a Vengeance, so I'm not doing that anytime soon. I'm 1 tier from maxing the my Epic, so at least when I finally do get that maxed, but it's Sigma Trit.
Yeah. Cruzito posts an interesting thought, and I'm going to read this, and I don't know if he's suggesting that we are being impatient or if Scopely missed the design mark here, but he says this is the same model of the old G3 and G4 armadas. We used to complain like crazy when they first came out because we couldn't get the directives. However, once we were able to punch up and get more loot, then the problem went away. You can't do that with these new tools for the outpost. Has it simply been that not enough time has passed, Forgotten Sec? I mean, we are in only month 3, and I can tell you we didn't have an overflow of Armada directives in month 3. I can tell you that. It took a year, maybe more, maybe 2 years before people had a surplus of directives for regular Armadas. Are we looking at that kind of thing? Have we just not been patient enough, or does Scopely need to get on the ball?
Well, and if I can, here's
Please.
the other thing. What about players that are just starting? As Shiz has pointed out in the chat, there is a problem where people aren't going to be able to, on this current model. Yes, we had the benefit of getting a start every 2 days, but anybody starting from this day forward, getting into this content now, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to be even slower now.
Yeah, 100%. Like, and granted, they're still young and they're still baby accounts, but anybody entering into G5 right now is going to just struggle, period. And if you can't punch any higher than the 51s, well, I mean, with the current model, you're just out of luck. I'm still saying, and I agree, disagree. I don't know where everybody stands, but most folks, I think, are with me on this. The directive sourcing is the problem, and it needs to change. Loot is a problem too, but with more directives, we get more loot. So that's just how it works.
Yep. There you go. Sec, thank you so much. Appreciate it, man. Thank you for calling in. Thank you for being one of our first guests with this new feature. I'm so giddy about it. I love it. I can't stop talking about it. All right. Let's go around the panel very quickly as we get ready to wrap up here, and we'll issue ratings. Oh, and Tarpy. The survey, you say I might be reading some of this data wrong, because some of this, these were segmented, targeted questions you wrote in this survey. So will you give us the statistical analysis results of the survey? Because I'm sure I'm not going to do it justice, because you wrote this in a specific way. You and Putz got together and wrote this survey in a scientific method kind of way, right?
Right. And the idea is I do want to talk about them every month, but I also want to talk about them throughout the year.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm kind of done with that already. I've gotten so many people saying, "Oh, but we have to fill one out for Rev," and I'm like, "But I want data too."
We like math. Give us the math.
Yeah, and so it's like, what I really just want out of this is exactly what I saw, actually. That on the whole, humans are average. We all are pretty much right in the middle of the road, and there are some players, yes, that can punch up. There are some players who are woefully far behind where they probably could be for their ops, but pretty much all of the data that is in this survey, and y'all can see it if you filled it out, you can't see it if you didn't fill it out, is that the middle of the peaks for most of these things that are on a 1 to 5 scale, most of them are in the middle at about 3 to 4, which means that for the most part, everyone's experience with this arc, again, not everyone, on average, people's response to January was, this is average. And that is basically what I was kind of looking for, to actually respond to a lot of the people who said that this was terrible. And it was like, on the whole, this was average.
Yeah, I'm looking here specifically at this question, and to reiterate exactly what Tarpy's saying is, the way that the survey was written is is actually a month in, month out kind of pattern. We weren't looking for just data here today. We were looking for data that we were looking for survey questions that can be repeated. That way, you know, MJ, a year from now, we can come back and do a statistical analysis for the whole year, right? All the arcs. But looking at this specific question, which is very, very interesting to me, all things considered, and this is kind of what we've been asking tonight, MJ, given all things, what is your satisfaction with the arc? You know, give it a rating of 1 through 10. All things considered, this was the money question. All things considered, what is your overall rating of this month's arc? All right. 22% of the players gave it less than halfway, gave it a 5 or less. Gave it a 4 or less. 21% gave it a 5. 24% gave it a 6. 18% gave it a 7. And then there was about 13% that rated it an 8 or higher. So to Tarpy's point, between 5 and 7 lies 60% of the ratings, which is very much average. Yeah, right there.
So
5, 6, 7.
Posted that. Yeah. I posted that exact thing in the graphics room at 8:42 on February 1st. And just so that everybody who's not looking at Twitch or anything like that is able to see that, it absolutely follows an exact bell curve. And I would like to call out my husband for putting in a B where the only options were 0 through 10.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, there was one singular entry of a letter. Thanks a lot. Appreciate that. That must have been Strider.
So also, it was before I changed it from AF to 0 to 10. And he took it before then. But I will say that specifically is for Ops 51 plus. And you are right that 98% of the people who responded to this were 51 plus, but there were also people who did also have an alt. And that was another 14 responses.
Yeah, I see that.
So,
like 9% of people.
Yep.
Responded with feedback for a secondary account as well. So, and again, the results of this survey are completely open and public. And that was one of the biggest reasons that we decided to launch one is just we weren't able to get our hands on the source data from some of the other surveys that go around, even the Scopely surveys. And for those in the podcast audience, I did not put this on screen because, again, my light mode, dark mode, it's all kind of foobar. But the survey results will be in the graphics room at the exact timestamp that Tarpy mentioned. So you can go and look at them for yourself. And again, this was one of the biggest reasons that we decided to kind of start with our own. And trust me, I had the same question. Listen, Rev's been doing this for years. We knew that this was something that Rev had always done. And I even asked my team, I was like, is that something that we want to do, because I know that he does it, but our biggest thing was, listen, his survey is great. He gets thousands of responses and he's worked really hard to make that happen. But we would love to be able to dive into that data, and we haven't been able to be able to see that raw data. So we decided we were going to kind of give it a go and see if we can get something that we will be able to build up data with, MJ, and a year from now kind of be able to come back and look at this, because it'll take ours a long time too. Rev's been doing his for years, and it gets thousands of responses, and ours will take some time to gain some traction. But the hope is that a year from now we'll be able to come back and take a look at the data in here, and then really see a nice statistical analysis on, say, an entire year, because a lot of these questions were written in such a way, MJ, that they will be reused. Like, we didn't talk specifically about the Excelsior. It was the feature ship, right? So that's what we're looking for. Wally says players are, for now, surveys for 3 months won't be useful. Well, no, we're gonna take them. No, this is a survey. It's actually already closed now, but then we're going to put this in a year-long kind of plot point. So, like, at the end of the year, when we're talking about the best arcs of the year, right? And because, let's face it, we kind of forget about things sometimes, or at least I do. I have to go back to MJ to look at that arc sheet. I think who wrote that? Quasel wrote that, I think.
Papa Smurf.
Papa Smurf wrote it.
Did the original arc history sheet.
Oh, love that sheet. I look at that all the time because I don't remember when things came out. you know? So it's really, really good. So to look at this, you know, yeah, this month, Wally, but then next month, then we're going to plot it. And next month will be the review on February's arc, but then we're going to plot it. And then March, we're going to plot it. And then that way, at the end of the year, we're going to be able to kind of take the same data, and we're going to review it with you every single month, and it will always be transparent. But then also at the end of the year, we're going to be able to show that as well. So, yeah, we are definitely doing it monthly, Wally, that's for sure. We're definitely going to do it monthly, and we're going to do it ongoing. But, yeah, the sample size this month was not exactly what we wanted it to be, Shelby. We had just shy of, 150 players. We had 139 players that responded, which is great. But, yeah, I'd love next month for that to be doubled, and the month after that for it to be doubled again, so that we can get to the point where we've got really representative data.
As you go on, DJ,
I wrote this.
You'll get more and more.
I hope so, yeah.
So
go ahead, Darby.
The other question was, you know, there's 3 surveys. There's the Scopely one, there's the Rev one, and then there's this one. And I wrote this one specifically to not take you very much time, and to kind of look forward and say, okay, this will take me maybe 35, 45 seconds to just fill in a couple bubbles. And hopefully that kind of takes away some of the not wanting to do it, because surveys are always really hard to get enough people to be statistically relevant to do it. And so I wanted to take away the, like, why wouldn't you do it? It'll take you less time than flying your Excelsior out to do your V'ger dailies, or flying your ship out to do your dailies.
Hey, I like that. Less screen time. And you know, we will, to the points in the chat, we'll do a better job. I have to own that. A lot of players said that they didn't even know that it was there. They didn't see it posted in the Discord. I got to own that. That's on me, because this one kind of snuck up on me, and we were still building it. And so, yeah, I definitely could have done better. Definitely could have done better at publicizing this thing, but we'll do better. It was our very first one. We will do better. I promise you we'll do better, because it's important to the team. It's important to me. And ultimately, I hope that MJ, I hope it gives us something really cool to talk about later. You know,
it will. And you know, as a content creator, let me say, I took all 3 like that, because that's just what we do.
Yeah, yeah, awesome. Well, I appreciate. Oh, we've got another caller. Look at that, from server 45. Also victorious in his incursions. Free to play G7 player Lost In is here. What's up, buddy?
Totally free to play, man. Totally free to play.
Totally free to play.
just not to put too fine a point on it, 45 is also a content creator server. But this horse might be dead. But on the outpost thing, I mean, listen, I am right now about to finish a 73, which is slightly above my level, but I had to use 4 warships, all fully crewed. And I can kill a 76, but I can't finish it. I still do the 70s with a loot crew. I really think that Sulu and those crews don't make enough difference. And I'm using every tool there is. And if it's not worth it for me to do, it's never going to be worth it for your average player.
Oh,
so if they really want to do it, they're going to have to buff the tools they give us, or it's just no one's going to engage, really.
So let me ask you.
And that's really, I think, the thing I want to talk about.
Let me ask you, because Riskbreaker has done the math, and I think Jules has looked over it as well. They have said that between 2 levels, like from 70 to 73, it is mathematically impossible for you to get the loot out of a 73 that you can get out of a loot from a 70, right? Mathematically impossible. So is it about making the tools better so that we can punch up? Because even if you are hitting your 73, right, as an op 72, you would have to hit the 76s to make more loot. And that probably can't be designed, because if that's the case, then eventually, by the time we get some level 80s in the game, they're never going to hit the 80s. They're going to have to punch down. The math breaks. All right. And this is why I say the fundamental problem, Lost In, is not, in my opinion, it's not necessarily with the tools, and it's not even the directives. They got to fix the dang on loot table, because it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that you can do a 70 and get paid more than you can at a 73, even with a loot crew. It shouldn't be that way. And the tools, I don't necessarily think it's a good idea either for the tools to let you punch up 5 levels either. If you're a 73, you shouldn't be hitting the 80s, right? You should be hitting the 73s or the 76s. But you should be able to do so and be paid more than you would be paid by hitting the 70s. You see what I'm saying? Like, that to me is a bigger problem.
I do. I think there's a huge step off at the generational levels, which is a problem, right? It's so 70 to 73, it's insane the difference. Same thing with 60 to 63. And so there's essentially a logarithmic change in power and a linear change in loot. And that is just very hard for them to code for.
Oh, it is.
I think that's part of the problem. Also, if you look at previous Armada crews, right? Just think about this as an Armada. When we got Cisco and those crews, they both allowed you to punch up and get more loot. And so if you want to make these officers valuable, they're going to have to allow you to do at least what you're already doing, if not more, and give you more loot for doing it. Because if they don't do that, it's not worth it. There's, there's lots of people talking about how to use surveys in very clever ways. And I've played with it. The problem is it doesn't make enough difference to change what I get. So it doesn't let me kill enough of the 73 with a loot crew ship and 3 surveys. I'm using 4 ships, a max Cisco, and everything else. And it's still better for me to do the 70 with a loot crew.
Yeah.
So they're not providing enough tools to allow you to do what you need to do. Listen, if this third officer gives 150% loot and synergy and allows me to do it with 1 crew, maybe that's worth it. But what they're not doing, it seems like, is really giving you enough of a boost to make these crews worth chasing.
Well, that's definitely true. And, the loot bonus has to be considered a part of it because, punching up mathematically doesn't work. All right, it just doesn't. Ice Wolf, thank you for the raid. But yeah, if Lost In can do a 70 and make more loot than a 73, why would he ever do a 73? You see what I'm saying? And that to me is just, that's a game design problem. That's broken. I've said that since the beginning. It's just broken. And, the tools to let you punch up, that would solve the problem for right now. But what about when you're 78? Then it's not going to solve the problem anymore. Lost In, like, you'll be capped out because there's nothing higher than an 80. So, that would solve the problem. Punching up would solve the problem right now, but it would only be kicking the can down the road. They need to fundamentally rewrite the loot tables. But like I said, I don't expect that to happen. So sadly, and if it's the tools, if it's the directives, if it's this or if it's that, what it all comes down to is a feature that, yet again, Lost In had so much potential comes crashing down, just like arenas, just like what Starbases should have been, just like every other thing that we see in this game, what territories should have been. These things have promise. They come out. They're buggy / broken / refinery problems, and then they never get touched. And then the feature just dies. I mean, I know a lot of people, I say a lot, I know some people still play arenas pretty regularly. I haven't in months.
Me neither.
Just because.
Me neither.
It's broken. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Lost In, it makes me sad. Makes me sad, dag nabbit. All right. Why can't things just work the way they're supposed to? Why can't they just work? And why can't they make sense? Why can't the math be right? Math. That's all I want.
I think they're too worried about losing a couple fake dollars. They need to be a little bit less stingy.
That's true.
If I may,
yeah.
Honestly,
again, DJ, I know you're saying that it's unlikely that they will go back and redo things, but I mean, if they want to save the feature and save the refinery and save the primes and save the dollars that could be coming in, then maybe they should
rewrite the table. Yeah.
Unlikely.
They should.
But yeah, rewrite the table.
Rewrite it. That's what we're calling for. Rewrite the table. Hashtag save outpost. All right, I'm starting it right now. All right, Lost In, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Tarpy, thank you for the survey data. You guys are all wonderful. Thank you, MJ, for being our very special guest today on the first of what we hope to be a really nice series with Content Creator Showcases. Thank you for sharing your stories and sharing your opinions and where you are with your account. We look forward to inviting other creators on the show every single month to do this with us. It's a fantastic idea, and I appreciate you being a part of it. Thank you so much for being our first guest on our Creator Showcase.
It's an honor. Thank you for having me, my friend.
My pleasure. Don't forget, while we're talking about some other creators, it is ArcFall weekend. So, MJ, we've got some big stuff coming. We will, of course, be live with you tomorrow night for our ArcFall, pre-ArcFall episode. We'll be in the lab, kind of just playing around. I might throw a leak or two around. And then, of course, we will be raiding into the Warp Drive 5 coming up at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday night, with Dr. Iron Chef. Major Samo will be hosting. We'll have Tibbs, Scribbler there, and so many other fun guests that are going to be hanging out. Captain Jesse going to be there. And then, of course, they'll carry you through the overnight as we raid into the ArcFall breakfast and Ultravetica's first birthday in the game with guest Candy White, Minnie Mabel, and Quazel there with Ultravetica in the morning time. We'll have a Talking in Cars with DJs Tuesday morning. And then, of course, there will be ArcFall content all day Tuesday. We'll be in the lab Tuesday night. MJ, where are you? I know you and Lost In have a streaming schedule as well. Where are you guys going to be in on this mess?
Tomorrow night, Inglorious STFCers at 9 p.m. I know that's the same time as you, DJ, so I'm sorry, but it's what it is. That's when we're going to be live. I love you, buddy. I'm sorry.
There you go. Like I said earlier, wonderful. So many. The more creators on the schedule, the better. And the more. Listen, ultimately, Scopely needs to realize like what we're doing for the game. The more people on Twitch playing this game, the more people on Twitch visible with this game, ultimately the better for the game. So, I'd love to see more people on the schedule. That is fantastic. We'll see Lost In and you, and that would be Iron Fister too, right? Who else is in your motley crew over there?
I'm sorry. Zero G's and McShiz, and I think Fisty's going to be with us this week. I'm not entirely sure.
There you go. Well, we're looking forward to the wide slate of content all across the board starting tomorrow with ArcFall. Shelby says, get ready to be underwhelmed. All right. And obviously he's talking about Tuesday, not MJ's show.
That
was more. Listen, no, that was more of a dig at Lost In. I know it was. Shelby, we love you. Or it was a dig at me, one or the other. Oh my goodness gracious. Sydney says, MJ, do you talk with your text chatters more than in here?
To be honest with you, yes, I try to respond to my chat really good. So
I try to.
That's just the whole thing.
I'm trying to.
Well, you have a lot more viewers than I do, and it's hard to keep up with sometimes.
There's a lot of chat sometimes, guys. We appreciate you all. Thank you so very much for being here. Thank you again to our very special guest, MJ Hat, everybody. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, DJ.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you so much. Yeah, Vic says, don't worry about it. He ignores all of us. I do. It's a thing. Andy, thank you for being here. Appreciate it, Vic. Thank you, guys. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday evening. Welcome into your February. Appreciate you guys sticking with it another month. Thank you to our contributors tonight. Lost In, thank you again so much. We are making excellent progress. Tomorrow night could be the night. I don't know if it will be, but it could be, as we are looking here at a remarkably close number of subs to spinning that go wheel. Also coming up tomorrow night, we'll give you an opportunity to increase the odds on another go wheel ad, but I'm telling you guys, we are 160 subs away. 160 subs away from spinning that go wheel and going somewhere in the world. Where in the world is UltimatDJz. It could happen tomorrow night. 140 subs or 160 subs away, and looking forward to doing that with you guys. Thank you all so very much. Please be sure to visit our website at TalkingTrekSTFC.com. TalkingTrekSTFC.com, where you can find links to our YouTube, where you got some shorts over there for the new Academy series that we're doing. We got our merch store. Get your cruise merch. That's happening in just a couple of weeks. You got to do that. Get your stuff, because the cruise is only a few weeks away, and the meetup right after that. We're looking forward to doing that with you as well. Plus, links over to our Patreon page, where you can find replays of Studio B that are absolutely free. Just follow us over on Patreon, create a free account, and you can get access to all of our Studio B shows starting January 1 of 2026. Thank you guys so very much for being a part of our live studio audience. Talking Trek is a registered trademark and recorded in front of a live studio audience for distribution across podcast platforms everywhere. I'm your friendly neighborhood cat person, UltimatDJz, saying meow for now. Love you, mean it. We'll catch you on the next one. Thank you guys very much for being here. You guys have a wonderful night, and we'll see ya tomorrow for Arcfall Eve. Good night, everybody.